believes it'll eventually get done. Big things from the Cowboys offense anticipated after some offseason moves, but this season will be a disappointment for Dallas, believes Chris Canty, co-host of Unsportsmanlike.
We're going to be saying, how about them Cowboys not being in the playoffs in 2023? That's what it's setting up for. The quarterback has had 35 turnovers in the last 31 games. The quarterback has missed 17 games over the last 3 years. The head coach has had game management issues.
Cowboys open the season Sunday night against the Giants. Men's quarterfinals, U.S. Open live on ESPN. Novak Djokovic leading American Taylor Fritz 1-0. Coco Gauff defeated Yelena Ostapenko in straight sets. She's the first American teenager to advance to the women's semis at the U.S. Open since Serena Williams in 2001.
How would you love a chance to save some money on car insurance? Geico can help. Switch today and see all the ways you could save with great rates and discounts. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com to get a rate quote and get started seeing how much you could save.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Shacks presents Brent and Friends.
Today is one of the worst days that I've had in a long time.
We're getting a little punchy around here, people. It's been a lot in a row.
I would love to punch you guys.
Ow! It really hit me.
Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, and Kasey Kurtz. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690.
He comes unprepared every day, Kasey. Just
Every
can't
day.
get ready, man.
You guys are blowing it out of proportion
Guy
right
runs
now.
out on the field for the opening kickoff without his helmet on. Essentially what he does, and with that head of hair, he needs a helmet.
Oh, couple of swings early on, huh? I see how it's going to play out.
Yeah, man, football
right.
season's here. Let's go.
Glad to be here today, then. I didn't realize we were starting off with this level of toxicity.
Absolutely. Let's bring it back.
Got to bring my
Hope
poison.
you had a nice
next time.
weekend. No snakes in the building to talk about?
None today either.
Well, that's good.
I might bring some in just to get it livelier in here again.
We had a lot of things going on last week. Now we just got football going on here. That's it. Everything shuts down. Football is back.
So weird. I wish we had more off season.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm so tired
Are
of
we
it.
talking about
Let's
this
go.
enough?
Come on.
Gosh, it's been a while. Here we go. And you know what is sneaking up on me? Because I don't. Obviously, we did a little fantasy football draft over the weekend. Kasey, little dynasty league. We had 3 rounds or 4 rounds or whatever it was, whatever Ty did. I don't know. But the Thursday night game is the one that sneaks up on me.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking Jags, and, on to Indianapolis and all that stuff. Well, here we are now,
2 days
some
away.
48 hours away, and big news, right, with Travis Kelce hyperextending his knee, apparently.
A little bit of
could
hype
be in
there,
doubt.
no?
Yeah, maybe. But
Hyperextension, Travis Kelce will be out there.
well, you're not gonna risk them early in the year. I mean, the teams that know how to get to where they're going and been there, like the Chiefs, they're not worried about the first month of the year as much.
I agree with that.
I even think Doug Peterson feels that way. I mean, it's not you don't worry about it. You got to get W's, but he also knows it's a build. He knows they're not going to be the same team Sunday as they're going to be hopefully in 2 months, 3 months, 4 months down the road.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just think a guy like Travis Kelce, you're going to have to do a lot in terms of handcuffing restraints to keep this man off the field for game one.
Yeah, I would say that's probably true. But even he's a veteran. He knows it. He knows it's a long season. And if he doesn't feel good enough to go, I just doubt he goes. What I was saying to Kasey, it's like, who do they have? They had Tyreek Hill and Kelce. They've had different versions of that offense. They obviously have Patrick Mahomes. But who do they have if they don't have Kelce that you're like, keep an eye on? I mean, is it really Kadarius Toney? Like, do you feel that way about Kadarius Toney? And Kasey, you mentioned Sky Moore.
Justin Ross as well.
I think if you were just listening previously or on ESPN 690, those guys were mentioned. Pacheco's coming back from offseason surgery as well. So it's like, if you don't have Kelce, they just look on paper so less intimidating, in my opinion.
Yeah, especially because Kelce is one of 2 guys who are intimidating on that offense.
Now,
And the other guy's Pat Mahomes.
There's one thing to catch here. Tyreek Hill left for Miami last year, and everybody was saying, how are they going to be? How are they going to be? How are they going to be? They're not as daunting. They're not this. They're not that. They win the Super Bowl. So, you got to be careful with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes at the end of the day. But it is interesting to keep an eye on that. And plus the Chris Jones story. Chris Jones is how about the 2 holdout stories? Is this surprising to you guys? By this time, we usually know something, or guys give in, or they're like, I want to play. These guys are holding firm, both Bosa and Jones.
You're week 1. You've got 2 of the biggest names on defense, legit holding out. And by the way, 2 other massive guys holding in as well.
Who's holding in?
You got Brian Burns in Carolina, big defensive cornerstone there. The team turned down multiple first-round draft picks to trade this guy last year to the Rams. Instead, now he wants a new contract. The team isn't there yet. Brian Burns not practicing or playing in any preseason games. He's not saying why. When they asked Frank Reich about it, he was very vague. He says, I hope to see him when I see him. Then you got JT. Jonathan Taylor on the Colts holding in, and he says it's an ankle thing, but a lot of people around that situation say, yeah, not really.
Kasey, how surprising is it the holdouts are this strong? Again, the Jonathan Taylor one's a little bit different because he was also on the PUP list coming back from injury. And like you're saying about Burns, obviously what he did the last month. But these other guys aren't there, haven't been there. Chris Jones, Nick Bosa, 2 of the dominant defensive players in the game, Kasey, might not even play at the outset of the season.
Love it. Get your money, King, whatever it takes. I mean, they're looking at, I would imagine they're looking at the owners and everybody getting richer, and this NFL team's worth this. The Commanders sold for billions with a B, and they're like, I need what I deserve. I've earned it, so pay it up or I'm not coming. I love it, but it's toxic.
Chris Jones how much is he going to get this year or whatever? I mean, whatever these guys are getting, let's just say it's in the $20 million range. I don't know what it's at right now.
It is for Chris Jones, yeah. It's in the mid to high 20s.
They're willing to give up $1 million a game. $1 million, because now you're starting to miss game checks.
Sure.
That's a big deal. And these guys love to play the game, right? I mean, you love to play the game. So to see them hold out like this into the season, which appears it's going to be. I mean, Chris Jones ain't coming back to play Thursday, that's for sure. And we hope he holds out another week at least against the Jaguars in
even
week
if
2.
He doesn't, he's hitting the ground with a bunch of teammates he hasn't played with in months.
But I get what you're saying, Kasey, and that's what the offseason holdouts are for, and the negotiating, and I want to be traded and everything else. I do think it's a bit odd to see it carry on this deep into it, especially guys that have some money. Now, I also say that gives you leverage to do it because you've got money in the bank. These are 2 guys that already have significant dollars in the bank. They can hold out. They didn't just play on a rookie contract that was a 5th-round draft pick contract and need to hit the lottery. They've already hit the lottery. And so they can dictate a little bit more how deep they want to go with this thing. I just think once the game starts playing, it's surprising to me to see it. And I don't know what's going to give or cave. I mean, Chris Jones has threatened multiple times this year on social media through other people, if you believe it. He's quitting the team.
Nice.
That's how mad this guy appears to be.
Yeah.
And they seem like they're way off if you read some of the reports.
Yeah, it seems like they're close to $10 million off, whether you talk about guaranteed or base salary. But that is around what he's in line to make, as he said before, 19.5 in base. You got a workout bonus that puts him at 20, a restructure bonus that puts him at 27, and then 1.25 for a miscellaneous bonus. His yearly cash is up at around $28 million. That's what his cap hit is. I'm sorry, yearly cash at 20, but the cap hit around $28 million, which is, I think, where the rub is for the team and the player right now.
Well, the other big storyline is where's the Burrow contract? What have we forgot about that? Where is that?
I don't think so. The word that I saw off of X was that the Burrow team is slow rolling it right now.
Yeah, that's what I've reportedly. That's what they're doing. Why?
Well, you hear Burrow doesn't want one of these mega deals. He doesn't want to bankrupt the team. He wants to leave enough for the friends, the and friends, to eat on Joe and Friends.
Look at them.
Yeah.
Right?
At least somebody
consider
gets
that,
to eat.
Brent. That being said,
I agree with Joe.
Why slow roll it?
Brent's like, I'm trying to eat too. What the heck?
Yeah, I don't get it. But clearly they have a plan in place that they want to adhere to.
I mean, I'm not telling you that it's going to be dramatic and everything else, but I'm just a bit surprised, Kasey, that your guy, Joey B, doesn't have a contract by the time this thing tees off in a few days, unless they announce something like Saturday night, which, by the way, that does happen sometimes. Right before, they'll say, hey, huge contract, not usually with quarterbacks, but it does happen from time to time. You surprised this thing isn't done.
Team guy, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it takes for the team.
But if it's a
whatever's
team
best
guy,
for the
wouldn't it be
team.
easy to get done? Or you think it's just his camp's like, wait a minute, don't be such a team guy, Joey?
Well, you know how it goes, Brent. Sometimes you ask for something creative that the team hasn't done before, and they need to get back to you on it. They need to take a few days, email a few people, maybe reach out to their legal department, set a few more meetings, and then give you a call back. And, oh, wait, holiday weekend, it's going to take a little bit longer this time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think that happens.
I guess that does happen. Sounds like it happens.
Yeah.
Does it?
We're going to talk Florida State in a little bit, but before we do that, the Jags are playing Week 1 against the Colts. It is here. They are favorites. They're 5-point favorites, I think I saw. Isn't that funny? That's what you say? That's it. You know, they've lost 5 games in a row at Indianapolis.
Okay.
The streak here is very good. Then there's the streak of the Colts who can't win an opener. I think it's 9 years long.
9 years.
9 different quarterbacks now in 9 different years to start the season.
Right.
But don't you come back to that. Is that it? Just 5 points?
Well, you figure they're giving them 3 on the home field advantage, if you want to call it that.
Yes.
So are you saying if it was in Jacksonville, it'd be over a touchdown? It'd be a little believable there.
It would be. How you feel about this, guys, on a Tuesday?
Feeling good.
I mean, it looks better by the day as far as I'm concerned.
I agree with that.
Shane Steichen out there talking about his backfield. He's like, we don't really have a plan. We're just going to go with the hot hand, which is great news for Jacksonville, which is stout against the run. You may only have 8 cold hands back there for the Colts.
Well, yeah, you said I don't understand that play when coaches say that. And I understand coaches just say stuff sometimes. But the hot hand in a running back room, like you don't even know what that looks like.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of these guys need 12, 15 carries. You're going to give them 12, 15 carries to determine who the hot hand is? What if you have one good run, he's got the hot hand. Like, that's not how that position works.
But don't you get it when, if Robert Saleh says it about Dalvin Cook and Breece Hall in Week 7, you're like, all right, I get this. Whoever's going to come out raring to go, that's who they lead with. But on a team like the Colts, where you have no past evidence of what you got back there, it feels like you need a bigger plan than just we'll see what happens.
So you guys have no doubts, no worries, nothing.
One.
You're going in easy feeling. It's a Saturday night sleep of epic proportions.
Jinx it, Case. Go ahead. Go
All
ahead.
I'm saying is I already took the points.
All right.
So I'm feeling good.
Cool.
I feel like, you know what's so crazy about the Jags for me is they really feel like, Doug says this, they're in the mental frame of mind, but we do talk to the players a bunch. A lot of the veterans here, Trevor as well, spent a lot of time with these guys during production meetings, so I get a little bit of a different spin than just in front of the podium. And they really do look focused, business-like, sound it, saying all the right things. There's not like this almost puffing their chest out like we are the best team in the league, but it's like we know we can be one of the best teams in the league. And I think there's a difference there, right? Like when you go into stuff thinking, how can we be beat? Like Tyreek Hill is a guy that goes into a game like nobody can stop me. I don't think the Jags are like that necessarily, but I think they are extremely confident in what they have, so much so that I think if they just take care of themselves, even though that's a cliche, we said it last week, that might be good enough.
And we've said a few times over the offseason, if the Jags were in the NFC, it'd be a different conversation. It'd be no doubt about it, a high seed playoff team, whatever you want to say. This is a case, I think, where playing in the AFC keeps them mentally humble and grounded. You can't really get too high on your ability as a team when you're looking week in and week out at elite players on the Chiefs and on the Bills and on the Dolphins and on the Browns and on everybody essentially that's not in last place at each of these conferences could be a playoff team this year.
All right. Did you freak out about all the national love? Peter King's got him as the top seed. Other people, Albert Breer's writing about Trevor Lawrence. We're going to get to an article a little bit later on that has Trevor Lawrence as the MVP pick. Are you okay with that? Do you get scared about that?
Yeah, I don't know what it says about you, but I can tell you I'm not even really a Jaguars fan. They're not my team, and seeing all that national attention makes me kind of nervous for you guys.
Kasey, you love it?
Don't love it. Not
Too
the
many
best.
eyeballs, right?
Not the best. I'm not going to lie.
I mean,
Not-
if everyone
not a
is
big
sitting
fan.
on the favorite pick, and that's the Jaguars, it kind of leaves a little space for things to go wonky for you.
Yeah, I don't know. You just said something very important. I don't think it's possible for them across the board to be the favorite pick. I think there's something else that came out today, some like all the simulation of games like ESPN does, that has them dead last in the AFC South once the simulator came out. It's like, wait a minute, where's that thing coming? That's like the hurricane path when it has the one that's going to like Iowa.
In the spaghetti models? Yeah, definitely. You're like, oh, that computer's drunk.
Like, what the heck happened to that computer? But it feels a bit like that, but I think your point's right on, is that not everybody's going to think the Jags are the best team in the AFC. There's too many to pick from. I mean, this is one year where in the AFC alone, you can have a lot of different opinions and really back it up. So I think the Jags are not going to be everybody's darling in this dance. But the bottom line is they are getting the most love they have received nationally since 2018, when they had the great year in 2017, and they got off to a nice start in 2018, and then it all flopped. And I think because of the flop, the psyche of everyone around here, the scar tissue of everyone around here, like, I get it. I do get it. And I have some folks, like, I put this out there yesterday, like, how do you feel about it? I had tons of responses. Yeah. And a lot of it was like, hey, man, good for them. They earned it. They deserve it. But I'm scared of it. Like, I kind of get it.
Yeah.
But I also am like, don't be. Embrace the good. It's been the theme of the offseason for us. They're good.
I think it'll be easier to embrace the good like 5 games into the season.
Yeah, but, I mean, embrace it when you can get it around here.
Yeah, sure.
And I think that's okay. I think it's okay to say this team is good. Like, you have to talk yourself into it. It's not just on paper. Their offense, which is an offensive league, if we're sitting here, and that's what's totally different about 2017-18, we're in an offensive world of football. The Jags were good on defense. They were very good on defense. That's what carried them. Well, it doesn't matter if you're good on defense in the NFL. Like, it's good at times, but you better be able to score it. And the difference in this football team is really 2 people and what you're good at. Doug Peterson, more proven, knows what he's doing. And not to say Doug Marrone wasn't, because Doug Marrone got a lot of that 17 team, so you have to give him credit for it. But I think Doug and Doug are in different
Peterson's got a Lombardi.
Worlds,
that's all
right?
you got to say. He's got the experience there.
And then Trevor and Blake, right? And both likable for different reasons, but Trevor, Blake, hands down,
different products.
Totally different world. But I do believe what we miss sometimes is offense in an offensive world. This is a football team in a belief that they could score 30 a game. That team couldn't do that. That team had to win in a variety of ways. And then, of course, stay healthy. I also think that's a part of it. The Jags can, I think, withstand a few injuries. You don't want a lot of them. They dictate a lot in the NFL. But I think they can withstand some. That team got depleted by injuries as that season went along in 2018. And you just can't plan for that. So bottom line is, embrace it. They are good. They're a good football team in today's world where you need to be good on the offensive side. They've got a quarterback and they've got a coach. End of story. Even if they weren't as built as you want them to be, even if you don't think their defense is as stout as it could be, and you have questions about it, doesn't matter. They got the coach, they got the quarterback, and they've got a lot of other things around them.
It does feel like there might be a difference between embracing feeling that the team is good and embracing being a leader in the AFC. You know, looking at this team knowing they're going to finish first in the AFC South, or looking at this team knowing they're going to be a top 4 seed, you've got a different level of week in, week out anxiety than you do with, there's a quality team that could run with anybody.
I'm going to give you one other thing that I believe is it can be important in sports. Not everybody, and I think this town and city in a way, and in terms of supporting this franchise, is in this boat. Feels comfortable being a front runner. Just hasn't been that way. Like, you don't even know what that feels like. You're afraid. You don't want to ruin it. You don't want to think too much. You want to get your hype and your expectations up so high that it's this major disappointment, because great expectations bring great disappointment sometimes.
Yeah, that's my motto right there.
But I think this team has people on it, players on it, coaches on it that like being the front runner. Like I think Trevor Lawrence loves being the front runner.
Been a winner for over a decade, yeah.
He loves that position. I think Doug Peterson likes that position, loves that position. He likes being known as the guy that can score it and design it. And that's okay. I think he brings that on. So there's a difference. Like, I believe in 2018, even the players, and especially the top quarterback, coach, not really Coughlin in this example, I think they were uncomfortable being the front runner. I don't think that's the case at all here. And I don't know how it trickles down to the rest of the team, but I'm just saying those 2 guys in particular, Doug and Trevor, like, they're cool with it. Doug's been around front running for a long time. He's been around Randy Reed. He was in Green Bay. He was with Marino and Favre. And, I mean, he's been around. He knows what it looks like. That's a comfortable world for him. And Trevor obviously speaks to the same thing. So I do think that's a little bit different. And maybe the biggest difference. That's maybe the biggest difference between any team the Jags have had. I'm sure in the late 90s, and I wasn't here for it, by the time 98, 99, like those by 99 rolled around, like you probably felt pretty comfortable the Jags were going to be good. Mm-hmm. I got to believe that back in 1999. But I think you can extinguish a lot of the doubt because of Doug and because of Trevor alone and then what they look like on paper. And so get it out of your psyche. The thing that derails this team is not itself or other teams. The thing is the unlucky bug of injury. Like that, you just don't know how that's going to go. And every team has to face that to some degree. Jags did get very fortunate in that category last year. We can remind ourselves of that. But they're going to have to deal with some injuries throughout the year. It's football. They just don't need as many as they got in like 2018 for where it really just doesn't meet expectation.
And also, injury luck isn't always about how many guys are injured, but at what positions are you getting injured? Do you have depth where you're hurt? And if you don't, how easy and how long do you have to cover for? But another thing I think that Jags fans can be excited about while embracing the good on this team, we talked last week about how this team did it in a multitude of ways. It wasn't just through the draft. They brought in some free agents. They found some guys that they developed as well who weren't necessarily rookies. But speaking of the draft and these young guys, I saw over at Fox Sports, they're ranking the entire league based on what they're calling the young talent rankings. They're looking at the last 3 draft cycles. And they're saying, all right, which players are on the team? Which players are starting? Which players are playing in the NFL? How good is this team looking forward a couple of years? What do the contracts coming up look like? What are the players? How old are these veterans and how important are they to the team? 32 teams. Jaguars ranked number 4th in the entire league.
And Aaron, this is the reason, amongst the others that we just gave earlier, and especially led by Doug and Trevor and everything else, but this is the reason why I have said this entire offseason that the franchise itself has never been in a better place. Never, ever. And there's a lot that goes into that. They got a new facility. Mm-hmm. They're on the verge of a new stadium, mm-hmm. hopefully. They've got a franchise quarterback that they've never had like this kind of guy. They've got a coach that's won a Lombardi, and they've got this, and I think it's an important part of it. They've got a nucleus. How much can they keep of it? How much will they continue to grow it? That's to be determined. But it certainly looks that way, and it's not just us in Jacksonville or them in that building that feel that way. I think the proof is right there. They have finally hit on draft picks.
Oh, totally.
They have finally hit on, not all of them, they've finally hit on enough of them to buy into, which puts this franchise right now, in my estimation, year 29, the best it's ever been in. Ever. With all those ingredients.
I mean, you're saying they didn't hit on all their draft picks, but it feels damn near close. I mean, including Trev. The Jags have 8 starters from 21 and 22 draft classes. That's not even counting last year's. That includes 2 have already been to the Pro Bowl or shown Pro Bowl potential in Tyson Campbell and Travis Etienne. Doesn't include last year's top pick, Trayvon Walker, who we're all expecting to take a leap forward this year. Then depth also stands out. 4 starting offensive linemen playing on rookie deals. Walker, Little, Ben Barch, Fortner, and Harrison. I mean, this is a young team that will be together, barring injury or wild trades, for a while now.
The beauty is there are some stars in there that you know. And then there's this year where you could see some of them taking a larger step to stardom.
Tank Bigsby, right? These other young
even
guys
Trayvon
from this last
Walker,
draft.
right? Or we have said that about Andre Cisco.
Oh, people who have already been drafted.
Yeah,
okay,
so it doesn't even mean just this
Cisco
rookie class.
wasn't even named here, yeah.
So there's so much to like about this. And so this isn't just about this year. This is about the next handful of years. I say this is about the rest of the decade. And when I say the Jags franchise has never been in a better position, I mean it like that, in that context. Until 2030, for the rest of this ride out of the decade, the Jags franchise has never, ever, ever been in as good a spot as it is on September 5th, 2023. And that's a pretty cool thing. I want to get to some of the responses, by the way, just real quick as we hit the break. When I asked, are the Jags getting too much national love? Or do you like it? Jag fanatic, like it, makes me nervous, but they deserve it. Then they decades of active dislike to get past first, so bring it all on. Mary says, I appreciate it very much. It's time. I need to update my previous viewpoint that will do better flying under the radar. Stevie says, far too much. 2018 broke me. Darth Edge, don't mind it, but I'm not buying it. We were trash for most of last season, lucked our way into the playoffs by barely beating a second-string QB. Trevor has a lot to prove for me. That's interesting and not a popular take.
No, that's a hot take.
But you know what? I am wondering who's going to step up and be the critic of even Trevor, because the love is everywhere. And the signs are there, too.
In fairness to the critic, we still haven't seen it over 17 games.
Yeah. Well, even Doug says that. Let's see. Andrew says, let's just enjoy it. We've suffered for so long. We need to have fun with it.
Just open your arms.
And
Come
Ryan
on.
says, love it. I think Doug Stout drives a message of humble confidence, and TL exhibits it with the team. Very exciting. That's very well said, Ryan. I agree with that.
Me
it
too.
is. And that's what we're just talking about. It's not like this bravado confidence of, I'm just going to tell you how great I am. It's instead, I know I'm good. We know we're good. We're about to show you we're good on Sunday in Indianapolis and for the next 17, 18 weeks. We'll see if the Jags can do it. You mentioned injuries. I want to ask you this a little bit later. A lot of people have made the injury of Devon Hamilton a big deal. Is it as big a deal as some have said, or is it just the biggest name injury that we have to start the season? Plus, Florida State, woo, they look good. Where are they in the AP Top 25 poll after that win? Get to it next on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert Forecast on ESPN 690.
Lots of sun and comfortable humidity again today with highs in the mid-80s at the beaches to near 90 this afternoon inland. Back down into the 60s inland tonight, and then partly sunny, hotter tomorrow with highs 90 to 95. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Join me today beginning at 5 p.m. on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jags.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Before you buy a diamond anywhere, shop and compare and save thousands at Beard's Diamonds.
Back to college, back to the gym, or back-to-back meetings. Cosmic Vibe, Oasis Vibe, Fantasy Vibe, Arctic Vibe, Peach Vibe. Northeast Florida is getting back into the routine with Celsius Essential Energy Drinks.
Firefighters, paramedics, police officers. They take care of us, and at AMCO, we're proud to take care of them. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. As an essential business, we work on every kind of car repair with flexible financing and extra safety precautions. Essential, reliable, trusted. That's the men and women who are there for us, and it's our honor to be there for them. AA MCO.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
Best Bet is number one. That's right. Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park have one-card poker, the fastest and easiest card game to learn and play. Play against a designated player, one card at a time, and the highest card wins even money. If the card values are the same, it's time for war. Just like the game you remember. You must be 18 years or older to play. More at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Frank, you got to come see my new windows from American Window Products. They're beautiful and they keep the house so cool.
Oh, slow down, Jim.
No, Frank. American Window Products is having a sale right now, and you said you wanted a locally owned business with qualified products and professional installers. Well, American Window Products has all that and more.
More?
Yes, selection and great prices at American Window Products.
Whoa, what's that number?
731-2247, a family-owned business since 1981. Check them out at AmericanWindowProducts.com. Call them, Frank.
I'm calling American Window Products right now, Jim.
Hi, this is Dave Barker with IHRS. If you're looking for a real solution to your thinning hair or hair loss, call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS.
Find out what's causing your hair to fall out. Can your hair grow back? What procedures or products will work? Get to the root of your problem with IHRS's Hair and Scalp Analysis. This analysis magnifies your hair and scalp 400 times to see what procedures can restore your hair. Stop wasting money on solutions that don't work. IHRS has been restoring hair for men and women for over 30 years. They're the only clinic to offer the trademark multi-unit hair grafting, PRP platelet-rich plasma, and the NeoGraft FUE hair transplant procedure. Real solutions, real results.
Schedule your free hair and scalp analysis today. Call 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Or visit hair4me.com. Hairforme.com.
Cancer doesn't care, and an increasing number of local families are hearing their child has been diagnosed. There's an urgent need for help.
This is how people lose their houses. This is how people lose their cars. There are mortgage payments made, groceries.
You have to make a choice between putting food on your table and getting your child to treatment. What are you going to choose?
You can help keep these families together during the fight. Donate now to the Child Cancer Fund. Any amount is welcome. Please donate at childcancerfund.org. That's childcancerfund.org.
Hey, One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union, is slashing car loan rates to as low as 3.99% for up to 60 months, but for 4 days only, September 6th through the 9th. That's it. That's the deal. 1-to-1 Financial. New or used vehicles. Interest rates as low as 3.99 for up to 60 months. And you have 30 days to find the perfect ride for real. Only at 1-to-1 Financial. September 6th through the 9th. Apply online at 121fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
Alice Cooper, Too Close for Comfort. No more! October 4th, St. Augustine Amphitheater. Alice Cooper, live. On sale now at Ticketmaster.com.
The annoying runny nose, the constant sneezing, the itchiness, and battle just to catch your breath. If you suffer from seasonal allergies, sinusitis, or nagging sinus congestion, there's a natural, easy-to-use solution that can help provide fast, drug-free relief. It's called Navage, and it uses powered suction to rinse your nasal passages in seconds. Millions of people use Navage daily to help provide relief from seasonal allergies and sinus congestion. Medications treat the symptoms, but Navage treats the problem at the source, flushing out the allergens and pollen trapped in your nose. Navage also helps wash out airborne bacteria, dust, dirt, and viruses quickly and painlessly, so you can get back to breathing clearly again. Say goodbye to sinus suffering and hello to better breathing with Navage. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, and online at Navage.com. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Stay with ESPN 690 for your chance to see and hear our special events in the Farah and Farah Performance Studio throughout 2023. Powered by Farah and Farah and ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Hey, welcome back, Brent Friends. Hope you had a nice holiday weekend. College football season well underway. NFL starts Thursday night. And, of course, the Jags and Indy on Sunday. That game on Fox 30, I still can't get used to the AFC games being on Fox. Like, it doesn't matter anymore. It used to be a CBS thing.
Yep.
And then it would be different if you're on the road against an NFC team or at home against an NFC team. Doesn't matter. There's just so much crisscross now, and which I guess is the way it should be anyway. But when you've grown up in this business and you're telling people where to find the games and you got them on both, it gets confusing. Yeah. I thought I would have just defaulted to this game being on CBS.
Yeah.
But it's actually a Fox game, I've been told, 1 o'clock on Sunday.
It's interesting now that you mentioned that. I saw The Athletic came out with their broadcast survey.
Okay.
Where they ask people their opinions on the different broadcast teams and which networks and stuff like that. CBS and Fox blowing everyone out of the water.
Really?
That's due to you guys here in Jacksonville.
Yes, that's definitely it. I'm trying to think. Do you guys have favorite? Here's the thing on Fox. I think Fox's depth is not great in terms of what I like or my ears like.
Personnel depth or like the depth of information they give?
No. The depth of the personnel, like play-by-play. Their teams, like their broadcast teams.
Got it.
I think the CBS broadcast teams have a lot of depth to them, really quite a bit, including my buddy Andrew Catalan. I think
they just added to it in the offseason as well.
So I'm surprised NBC didn't do better there with Tirico and Collinsworth, though. In that whatever poll that you were talking about.
Tirico did show up. I don't know if you saw the rankings. Romo's still running the roost over there with
So
Nance.
Romo last year started to get some negativity, I thought, for the first time, at least on social media, which again, that's like the heartbeat sometimes, but it's not the whole deal, which people don't always understand. It's not everybody. So he performed pretty well in this poll?
He did. They were still the number one team, as I pull it up here, if you're curious. It was on votes. For people, I think it's I wish I knew who the audience was. I looked at two different polls today. One was decision makers in the NFL. That is not this one. So I think this was people watching, just the regular watcher. But as far as crews goes, CBS's Nance, Romo, and Wolfson were 29.2% first place. And you have Burkhardt, Greg Olson, Aaron Andrews, and Rinaldi. Greg Olson on a rocket ship.
Burkhardt's very good, too. Does a good job.
Aaron Andrews, great. 25.5%. Then comes Aikman, Buck, and Salters at 18.9. Then Tirico, Collinsworth, and Stark in fourth place.
Aikman and Buck are ahead of Tirico, and wow.
Yeah. And then how about Al Michaels doing this job for 70 years, pulling up the rear right now?
Well, I wonder if Michaels was still on NBC with Collinsworth, if that would have pushed them higher.
Maybe.
Because the one Tirico's been doing it a long time. And if you know the business, you know Tirico. And Tirico, I think, is fantastic.
Amazing.
But he's still
multi-sport,
not
amazing.
He's still, to a casual person, he's not the default listen. because you're thinking more on NBC. You're thinking the Al Michaels of the world. And a lot of people probably don't realize that Michaels is now on the streaming stuff, right? Yeah. And he might still be on NBC. Well, that's not the case. It's an interesting call. Like, I think CBS does well here because of Nance and Romo for what you're saying. I think Nance, does anybody not like Nance?
I think he's beloved.
I think so, too. Like, I think he's kind of across the board. Even if you don't love him, I think you're okay with him.
Yeah, this is another guy who, like, excels broadcasting multiple sports.
Yeah, exactly. And some people like different guys for different sports. But I'm just saying, like, I don't hear a lot of bad on Nance.
Yeah.
I think he blends in with the broadcast very well, into your ears very well. And then you got Romo as the star, which is the way it's supposed to be. I think the one that's always got me is Buck. Like, Buck, to me, is good, and a lot of people don't like him.
People hate this guy.
And I actually am not as big a fan of Aikman as a lot of people would be of Aikman.
I don't have an opinion really on Aikman, but I love Joe.
I don't not like Aikman. I'm just saying he's not at the top of my list.
I feel like Aikman is just very vanilla.
Yeah.
He's just ex-athlete. That's what you're going to get with the guy. Like, Romo seems way more insightful and intuitive.
Well, Romo's way more hip than Aikman. I mean, Aikman's 1995 and Romo's 2015. Feels
okay.
You know what I mean? Like, that's why I think it feels that way.
But I do feel
Kasey's
like
not jumping in here at all. Kasey's the young guy here. That's what we need to know. Kasey's
not
best broadcast
teams
in the NFL. Like, if you could pick one, the Super Bowl's on X channel. Where do you want it? It's okay. You don't have to. I know we're in the building, CBS and Fox.
CBS,
okay.
Fox, NBC, ESPN, Amazon, or NFL.
I'm
Network.
absolutely not worried about who's in the building. I would watch the Super. My favorite Super Bowl option would be Peyton and Eli.
Okay, but that's not a thing.
No, it's a thing. They're actually getting paid a lot for that.
Yeah, but you'd rather have ESPN broadcast the game then?
I'd rather have Peyton and Eli. I don't necessarily need Buck.
You know what's funny about him saying that? They also asked the question on a scale of 1 to 5, what grade would you give the Manning cast? 1, it doesn't add anything for me. And 5, it's essential viewing. Case, you're basically saying you're a 5.
Yes.
14.9%.
I love it, too. You know they're adding a third person, they said?
Yes.
They haven't announced it.
I thought I saw them announce it, but I'd have to go back and check what the name is.
I think that's really well done.
But it got great grades.
Wait, 14.9% of people what? Are
Loved
5?
it. It's a 5. So 1 through 5, 1 being the worst, got 16%. 5 being the best, got 15.9%. But 4, which is right under the best, 32.1%. 3 at 24%.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. So they really only have just under 30% negative view.
To be honest, most of the other ones, I'm kind of just like, all right, this is football.
You know, the other one, a couple of questions that kind of color around this a little bit more. How much do the broadcasters matter to you while watching the game? 1 to 5, Case?
How much do they matter to me?
Yeah.
2.
All right. So 14.6% of people agree with you. That's good for third place in the poll. 4 was the top answer. 3 was the answer under that. So it matters to people. And I think that shows when you look at which networks people prefer to watch, not so much at the top, but if you look at the bottom, ESPN at 7%, Amazon at 3.2%, and then the NFL Network in last place at 2.1%. The NFL Network is great at getting ex-NFL athletes, but they kind of lack the big names in the broadcast booth for that work.
Yeah, they do. They do. They try to throw it together sometimes.
But if you go to good, though.
The panels are good. You're right.
That's the point. If you go to studio broadcast, NFL Network, rocket ships to second place.
Who's in first? ESPN?
First place is Fox.
Yeah, Fox is.
JB and Terry and those guys.
Fox's thing is great. And that's why, to the earlier question, like, where would you want the Jags to be? From a purely autograph perspective, I love it when it's Fox because their roster is deeper of former players.
Yeah.
Like, their 5 deep is like Greg Jennings. I'm like, I can get Greg Jennings on helmets all day.
Interesting.
CBS, like, you get 5 deep. They're probably better at their job, but, like, I don't need Adam Archuleta on anything.
It's funny because Fox, far and away the winner at 30%. Then you get NFL, CBS, NBC, and ESPN all clustered between 18.5% and 15%. And then you get Amazon at 4%.
It's a battle. By the way, Amazon's crew, I thought was not good.
All right, year 1, bro.
I'm just telling you. I don't think it's good.
Ease up.
Who was Amazon?
Richard Sherman.
And
you have
was it Colleen Wolf? Is that who it is?
Oh, no. That's their panel. That's what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant their booth.
Oh, okay.
The booth is Michaels, so that's not good.
Yeah, it's Al Michaels, Kirk Herbstreit.
I mean, it's not good anymore.
Kaylee
I hate
Hartung.
to even say that.
Yeah,
but
that is rough.
Yeah, I
thought
think
the panel was fine.
Did you?
Isn't that Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Other than the audio wasn't matched up to their talking.
They have Tony Gonzalez, right?
I didn't think Gonzalez is good.
Yeah,
but again, guys, year one.
I get it. I got to get used to it. I get it.
They won't have Sherman now, right? Because Sherman's on Fox.
Well, Sherman is on Fox. I don't know if
he's
that
doing both, I believe.
Him. Is he doing
I'm pretty sure he's doing both.
If I was Sherman, I would be saying, you got to let me do both.
Yeah, he probably worked that into his Yeah, in fact, I swear
Ain't Joe
I
Thomas
saw that.
on there?
I swear I saw that.
Joe Thomas is all right.
Yeah, Joe Thomas is probably better than most of them, in my opinion.
Joe Thomas.
Hey, real quick, you brought up the Von Hamilton injury. I want to get you guys' thoughts on this. I feel like this has been a story that's been a shade overblown in terms of the impact on the football team. And listen, this is a guy, and I'm not trying to take away the worth of Hamilton. I think he's a really good player. He was dominating. He certainly will impact football games. And so you've got to slide somebody else in there. But I also do think they have guys like Gotsis, or maybe it's a Ledbetter. They've shown some depth there. I get it's a big deal because he just signed an extension. Everybody saw him playing well. You can fall in love with Hamilton's game. And by the way, good for him. You don't usually do that for somebody in his position. He kind of just blends in, and he's really, really improved and made a name for himself. And he'll be back. But when this was going on about IR, everybody's like, oh, my goodness. I said, hey, first of all, you're going to have injuries. You're going to have injuries. Let's not pretend like you're not going to have injuries. But secondly, I think the Jags are actually equipped in this facet of their defense to hold it down while Hamilton gets healthy and comes back without making it an eyesore of losing games or impacting football games. Like, I don't think all of a sudden people are going to run for 180 yards against the Jags because Hamilton's out.
I think it's fair, especially in the run game. The team focuses on stopping the run. I think they're going to be fine. But if you're talking about losing your best interior defender, it's hard to swallow, especially when in the offseason all you did was lose your other best frontline defender. Now, you may not want to say Arden Key is better than Josh Allen or Trayvon Walker or Devin Lloyd at this or that or this, but it did last year. Arden Key was an important part of that defensive front.
And now you don't have DeJuan Smoot at the beginning.
Smoot's another one.
So maybe it adds to it. Like, I get it. I get what you're saying.
So, like, yes, maybe the Jags have the depth to be okay, but they need guys who didn't step up last year to step up this year and cover.
Yeah, and I think, but even, like, I'll give you guys, like, Trayvon Walker, who obviously gets criticized for his rookie year, or even Chason, who gets criticized a lot.
Sure.
Those two guys are actually very good against the run.
Yeah.
And I know that's a different position, not exact same position as Hamilton, but I already gave you the Gottses of the world and the Ledbetters, and I think the linebackers are pretty, like, I think the Jags are pretty well built against the run. They have made sure they are built against the run. The question is, can they get to the quarterback? And I think I've used this example before. I didn't see it coming, Shaq Griffin being bad last year. And I also didn't see it coming that if Shaq Griffin was bad, he would debilitate the defense. Like, I would not have thought that going in, even though he was a big money player for them.
Sure.
What I'm saying is, I don't think this injury for the first 4 weeks does that to the football team. And I'm not sure everybody else is saying it either. I just thought there was a little bit around that injury when it came out, a little panic, and especially week one. I mean, they don't have to worry about Jonathan Taylor. They're going against Kansas City, who doesn't really run the ball that much anyway. And you got to be more worried about the pass. And I do think Hamilton will play a significant factor in the pass rush at some point. So, I don't know. I'm balancing this here. I don't want, if Devon Hamilton was listening right now, I don't want him to say, hey, Brent thinks you're not very important. I don't, because that's not what I think. I think it's awesome that he got the extension. I thought he was dominant. I thought he was one of the reasons why I was believing in the defense more than others were believing in the defense.
Yeah.
Because that's a guy that's about to take another step. But I also just don't want to get carried away with the idea that if you don't have Devon Hamilton, you're in trouble on defense. I don't think that's the case. I think they'll be all right in these first 4 games until he comes back, and then they'll be even better when he does come back.
Last word from me on this, because I know, Kasey, you're going to have to earmuffs here, but PFF says Devon Hamilton, not only a great interior run defender, but your second best pass rusher on the defense by metric last year.
There you go. All right, well, we'll get to Florida State. What a performance.
What a performance.
Top 5 in the country now. And a legit national championship contenders.
Oh, yeah.
You could hear the game right here on ESPN 690. ESPN 690, your home for Florida State football and basketball.
Brent and Friends is sponsored by Best Bet, now open in St. Augustine.
ESPN 690 wants to pay your bills. We'll have 5 chances every weekday to win $1,000. All you have to do is enter the correct keyword at ESPN690.com to be eligible to win. This is a nationwide contest. Message and data rates apply. ESPN 690 pays your bills. Sponsored by Arlington Toyota with over 800 new and used vehicles available. Weekdays at 8 a.m., 10 a.m., noon, 2 and 5 p.m. Tune in to win from ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Meet Bruce.
Hey there.
He's a busy soccer dad who's trying hard to learn the game.
Go for the end zone.
Whoops. Luckily, other things come easy, like banking with Chase. On a tip from his banker, he set up AutoSave in the Chase mobile app. So what are you saving for, Bruce?
Father-daughter soccer camp.
Smart bankers, convenient tools, one bank with the power of both. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
AutoSave requires a Chase checking and savings account. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
At the Home Depot, Saturdays are about 2 things. Easy cleanup with the Ryobi 18-volt ONE+ Whisper Series leaf blower.
And football.
That's right, Reese Davis. With variable speed, it has the power for when you really need it and just the right amount when you don't. And the ONE+ battery platform means you go from yard work to DIY in just a click, so you can get projects done faster.
Which means more time for football.
For football. Upgrade your Saturday with Ryobi and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Be ready for anything on the road or off the road this summer at Nimnik Buick GMC. Car Bravo is here, a better way to shop used vehicles with transparent pricing. Nimnik Buick GMC has joined the Car Bravo family and is the only Car Bravo dealer in Northeast Florida. Are you looking for a used car under $20,000? Check out Nimnik Buick GMC on Phillips Highway or NimnikBuickGMC.com. Want an oil change from the comfort of your living room? Check out NimnikBuickGMC.com. Mobile oil changes with Nimnik GMC. We are professional grade.
Hey, this is Bruce.
And I'm Carrie.
We're the owners of Koala Insulation. It's a great time of year to invest in energy-efficient improvements to your home. With our competitive rates and new tax credits for insulation upgrades, you can get huge savings to improve your insulation today and see long-term savings every month going forward.
Give us a call and set up your free evaluation at 679-6282 or find us online at koalainsulation.com.
As the seasons change, one thing remains the same. Jacksonville and all of Northeast Florida are fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. If you spot ESPN 690 anywhere in the community, come hang with us and grab an ice-cold Celsius.
If your hair is thinning and you're looking for an easy solution that will restore your hair, check out IHRS's PRP Platelet-Rich Plasma. PRP uses your own platelets and cells to restore your hair where it's thinning. Combined with their FDA-approved laser hair therapy and pharmaceutical-grade products, all 3 will deliver one better result. Call IHRS now for a free evaluation and find out if their PRP 45-minute treatment will work for you. Now there is a solution for any man or woman with any degree of hair loss. And it's all in one place. Call 904-777-IHRS. IHRS has been restoring hair for over 30 years. The staff at IHRS knows what it's like to lose their hair. That's why they're ready to help you grow your hair back.
Schedule your free hair and scalp analysis today. Call 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Or visit hair4me.com. Hairforme.com.
As residential golf cart use increases, make sure you and your child know the safety basics to help avoid crashes and injuries. Whether you're driving a golf cart on the course or off, staying safe should always be a priority. Learn more at go.baptistjacks.com/golfcart.
Meet Mike Lester.
The downsides to a 401k are limited investment options. What we'll find, and nothing against anybody who's doing it. Listen, if I wasn't an investment advisor, I might even be doing the same thing. But lots of target date funds. We don't like the target date funds because they only take into consideration the date. They don't take into consideration anything else. So target date funds are sort of an easy way to invest, but I think they give investors in retirement plans a false sense of security.
Find out more at guardingyournestegg.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
This is Brent Friends with Brent Martineau.
You don't even like your quarterback.
Kasey Kurtz.
You don't even like your team.
And Aaron Schachter.
I don't even like myself, guys. Do you know me?
On Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690.
Florida State up to number 4 in the AP poll, and rightfully
That's
so.
it?
Yeah, I think what I retweeted Brett McMurphy, I think today, he put him as number 1 in his vote.
Saw that.
And
that was the only first place vote they got. Or actually, maybe
no, I think they got a lot. I think they had the second most first place votes. Or maybe not a lot, but they had second most.
Well, Georgia had 58. I think FSU had 3 or 2.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
How are they only number 4?
Yeah.
Who's ahead of them?
I didn't even see the
Ohio
whole
State
list.
with no
You
quarterback.
got Georgia at number 1 with 58 first place votes.
Sure.
Michigan at number 2 with 2 first place votes.
That team stinks. By
Bama at number 3 with none first place votes. And then FSU at number 4 with 3 first place votes. Ohio State at number 5, round out top 5.
Huh.
Yeah, and here's what...
That's wild.
Here's the thing I said today on Twitter, and it's getting a little reaction, but when McMurphy does
Congrats
this...
on that, man.
I was going to say congratulations.
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes they don't, but I like the banter back and forth when... and not everybody agrees with me, but here's where they'll spin it, too, is I think the polls are dumb this early in the year. Preseason polls, college football polls, they all go back to, like, equity built over the last handful of years. Like, that's why Alabama... Like, listen, should Georgia be number 1 to start the year? Absolutely they should. They're 2-time defending champs, and they're good again. They're loaded on their roster. Like, I get it. So that's cool. Like, I'm okay with that. Alabama's up there because Alabama's always up there. You have no idea what their quarterback situation is, but can you bank on Alabama being pretty good, one of the top 5, top 10? Absolutely. So I understand. But now that we know it and see it, I think you can certainly make the case that FSU is 1 or 2. They got the most impressive win of the week.
They're definitely a top 3 team to me.
Yeah, but I'm not going to get crazy about them being 4. It's good that they're in the top 5. They should be in the top 5. I understand how it works with people like in Michigan and Alabama and everything else. And the equity means something. And listen, I think it should mean something for Georgia. They've lost like 1 football game in the last 2 years, and it looks like they're just going to keep doing it. And they did win. I mean, they won handily. They took care of business. That's fine. But I think there's more questions at Alabama about their quarterback stuff, and they weren't as good as they usually are last year, by their standards. So I could easily see Florida State number 2, but like most people are saying in this back and forth, I mean, how about wait till week 5 to get the polls and really see who the good teams are?
Well, that's not fun.
I know.
It's no fun.
Wouldn't be talking about
It's the opposite of fun.
Yeah.
And so I'm okay with that, too. I'm okay with doing the polls, but I do like the fact that people put value on Florida State's big win. That was a big performance.
It's huge.
And they delivered.
It was the best one of the weekend.
And
by
it
anybody.
was the best one. Well, Colorado's was pretty damn good, too. And that's what I'm getting. Like, well, then why is it Colorado in McMurphy's top 25? And here's what
Colorado is ranked.
Well, they are in the AP.
Yes.
But what the quote, what I quote tweeted, they weren't in their top 25.
wasn't out yet,
But what I said about that is, well, it depends how you look on TCU. Like, TCU was 17th because that's the way college football works. They were good last year, so they've got to be in the top 20, right?
Yeah.
Well, they also lost like 80% of their roster.
Including the starting quarterback.
And Colorado did give up 42 points in the win. So how good is Colorado? It was an awesome win. It was maybe the most impressive win even with FSU of the weekend.
Case,
to do what he did. I mean, to do what Dion and his son did, and obviously Travis Hunter. I mean, it was as good as you could get. Although I do think FSU's win was pretty damn good, too.
FSU's was more impressive. Ranked team, neutral site, technically, if you will, and dominated them, destroyed them, blitzed them.
I'm all about FSU this year, but Colorado's win, also impressive in the fact that I think you had something like 87 new guys on that team.
Did you guys get the free money that they were handing out? They were plus 21.5.
That was amazing.
Are you kidding? Oh, guys, I didn't even tell you. I went 7-0 this weekend in college football bets.
Wow.
Really?
7-0.
Congratulations.
Right.
We are proud of you.
So how in the red are you now?
Too.
Because I know you haven't broken even yet.
Nah, bro, it was good. It was good. You feel me? Did you guys take the free money for next week?
I did not take the free money yet.
But I don't take free money anywhere when it comes to betting.
Okay. Pull this tape, somebody listening, because I ain't doing it.
2.5. Yeah, I think
it's 3.5 now.
That's 3.5. Yeah, and I think Vegas probably knows something you don't.
They know Nebraska sucks.
Yeah, Nebraska can't win, so that's a good thing. But that 3.5 now, they play a ton of close games.
2.5.
You said it was 2.5, but now it's 3.5. That hook makes a difference.
I got it when it was 2.5. It's over. I'm fine. They're winning by 3. 21.5. Boys, they were handing out free money everywhere. And Brent, I think you brought this up. You were right. Unders like crazy.
Oh, the under?
Because of the clock?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You were right. Last night, little under in the first half. Boom, thank you. Duke plus 7.5 in the first half. Boom, thank you so much.
Duke,
a little bit on the Duke money line.
Clemson 28-7. I mean, it was a wild college football weekend. But back to that point, they're running so many less plays. I asked you about like how it's going to impact the game and the watch time, and now there are people breaking it down. I forget. I don't know if it was through Barstool Sports somebody did it or where it was tweeted out, but they said there in the Florida State game there were 55 minutes of commercials and stoppage time. I think it was, or maybe it was just commercials. The game actually took 2:27 of playing time.
Wow!
But that's how many. So they're filling it with more commercials. And one of the coaches, who was it? One of the coaches in their sideline interview.
Chip Kelly.
Oh, Chip Kelly. That's right. It was Chip Kelly. He even brought it up. But because he's really ticked off, because that's a guy that wants to move, right, and run like 90-plus plays. Well, you can't.
So does FSU. They were holding FSU a lot.
You're running like 60 plays now, and I don't know what the actual number for everybody was. But it does change the dynamic of the game.
It's
good
funny
or
how
bad. Good or bad, depending on it's totally changed the way the flow goes.
It's funny how for almost everybody, snap counts will go down this year, except for a guy like Travis Hunter, who's going to play 130 snaps a game.
That dude's insane,
all season.
Bro.
Okay, but it does matter for him because in last year's college football, if he did play as much as he played the other day, he would have played 185 snaps.
Well, my point is he doesn't have to. Now he can do the two-way thing and not run himself into the ground by week 7.
Yeah, and it's a super impressive thing. But when you're playing 110 snaps, there used to be defenders playing 90-plus snaps against, like, Oklahoma State every week. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I know he's playing it on both sides, but the 110, again, he's in a perfect world right now to do that because, yes, it's super impressive. I don't want to take anything away from him, but it's not like it's 185 snaps. He's not going to have to go that deep based on the way the clock is. Let's stay on college football a little bit. FSU, are they seriously one of the teams to beat in the country now, based on what you saw Sunday coming off the heels of last year? How impressive is the Deion stuff? And is Dabo done if he doesn't go to the transfer portal?
Totally.
Fade Clemson all year. They ain't doing it.
Again, by the way.
Week, but fade them.
And they can't score. This is not a new thing anymore. They can't score.
Ranked
4 o'clock hour next on ESPN 690.
I'm Mark Anajar. I'm Glenn Levine. I'm Ellie Anajar. Together, we're Anajar and Levine. If you've been hurt in a car crash, we'll fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call Anajar and Levine for your free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE.
Main office, Jacksonville.
Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine are paying out over $640,000 this month in poker promotions. There will be exciting high-hand specials and no-limit hold'em tournaments all month. Catch Insta Paydays and game day promos at St. Augustine, $300 early bird specials at Orange Park, $500 Fridays at Jacksonville, and much more. Enjoy the best in poker and card games at Best Bet. For more information, visit bestbetjax.com.
This is Ortho Health Insights, tips for life in motion, brought to you by the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. You are never too old or too young to begin improving your orthopedic health. Hundreds of thousands of knee replacements and hip replacements are performed each year in the United States, and those numbers are on the rise, but some of these surgeries are preventable. Exercise and health lifestyles have a direct effect on muscle strength, joint flexibility, and bone density. Maintaining a healthy body weight can lessen the effects of osteoarthritis and prevent injuries. Hip pain is a common problem and can cause discomfort and difficulty in walking, sitting, and daily life like working and playing sports. If you are experiencing hip pain, the hip orthopedic physicians at JOI are experienced in diagnosing the cause and treatment of your hip pain. Whether you need a course of physical therapy or surgery, JOI can help. Call 904-JOI-2000. That's 904-JOI-2000. Or learn more at JOI.net. JOI is the official sports medicine provider for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Discover how good your water can be with the new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's Twin Tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available. We have one in our home. We absolutely love it, have had it for over 5 years. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. Right now, you can save up to $1,000 on a Connecticut K5 drinking water system when you purchase a Connecticut Premier Softener. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com, 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1428211.
I'm Christine Lisi. Major injury concern for the Chiefs 2 days before they kick off their Super Bowl title defense against the Lions. Tight end Travis Kelce hyperextended his knee at practice. His status for Thursday uncertain. Duke and Colorado following huge upset wins in Week 1 into the AP Top 25 college football poll, 21 and 22 respectively. Florida State moved 4 spots up to number 4, and that may actually be a little low for the Seminoles, according to ESPN college football analyst Greg McElroy.
Tell me a team that looked better in Week 1 than Florida State. I would have a very, very difficult time not having Florida State at number 1. That's no disrespect to Georgia. I just looked at Georgia, and I don't think they were as dominant against lower-level competition than Florida State was in the second half, in particular, against high-level competition.
Live on ESPN men's quarterfinals, U.S. Open, Novak Djokovic leading Taylor Fritz 2-0. Coco Gauff defeated Yelena Ostapenko in straight sets. She is the first American teenager to advance to the women's semifinals at the U.S. Open since Serena Williams in 2001.
Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. Geico.com. Easy.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Shacks presents Brent and Friends.
Today is one of the worst days that I've had in a long time.
We're getting a little punchy around here, people. It's been a lot in a row.
I would love to punch you guys.
Ow! It really hit me.
Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, and Kasey Kurtz. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690.
Hey, let's stay on college football for a moment. Florida State Seminoles looked really good in that second half. And see, I think that's a bigger part of this story. They were down 17-14 at halftime. They did not look good in the second quarter. I mean, the fact that they gave up a field goal at the end of the half, almost a touchdown at the end of the half, was sloppy football, bad football. Jordan Travis had this sequence where in like 3 or 4 passes, he looked terrible. Like all the composure and everything else everyone was talking about, he looked out of his mind for a couple of moments because the offensive line was giving up pressure, et cetera, et cetera. And for them to come back in the second half, I believe in the first half last year in this game, everything went kind of Florida State's way. Special teams, turnovers, other things. And then Brian Kelly and company came back, made that a game, almost stole it at the end before the blocked extra point.
Yeah.
And they got away with one. They had dominated most of the game, but they kind of got away with it. This was different because you were like, okay, is Brian Kelly going to do this again? And is LSU going to run away with it? Because in the first half, I thought LSU could have easily been up a couple of scores.
Well, the defense bent, but it didn't break. You had 2 fourth downs.
2 big-time plays, yeah.
That they didn't allow LSU into the end zone. But, man, Jordan Travis in the second half was lights out, 11 of 13, just connecting everywhere on the field, specifically to Keon Coleman.
Kasey, I guess what I'm saying, though, is this is another feather in the cap of Mike Norvell's. He's turned the program around. He's obviously developed guys there. His transfer portal stuff is off the charts. I still don't understand it. I don't know why he's so good at it, but he's really good at it. But then he could slam the door in the second half and run away with that thing. I thought that was so big for FSU. It showed a lot of Mike Norvell for me to put the clamps on LSU and Brian Kelly. Listen, Brian Kelly, whether you like him or not, he's a good coach. And most people, and many people would say a better coach than Mike Norvell. Mike Norvell did a better job in that second half and now boosts them right into national championship contention.
Brian Kelly's just overrated.
He is.
What has he really done?
Yeah, well, his story, I mean, he goes from, I think it might have been the high school ranks, but he was a Division II guy with Grand Valley State, and then he climbed Cincinnati. No, listen, he got Notre Dame back to relevance. I mean, I don't think he's overrated in that sense.
Oh, Brent.
What do you mean, man? People haven't been able to get Notre Dame back to where he got Notre Dame.
How many times they won?
That's not even the point. They weren't even close to winning. They weren't even in the top 25, the top 20, the top 15. Like he got them to. Didn't he get them to the playoff 2 years?
He brought a garbage or a program back from garbage to overrated as unbelievable. They were never any good. They got credit because they were Notre Dame. This guy's overrated as it comes. LSU was mid last year. They got in because the West stunk. Nobody else was any good.
I think you're making excuses. I think you're spinning that. Listen, they didn't just get in because they're Notre Dame. They almost got out because they were Notre Dame many times because of their schedule. He won games at Notre Dame, made them relevant again to the point where before he left, they had, I think, the best recruiting class in the country coming in before he jetted for LSU in Baton Rouge. And
they
LSU
did win
last
regular
year,
season games. You're right.
LSU. That was year one at LSU. Amidst all the goofiness of the 360 cam garbage and all that stuff and the promises and the goofy halftime stuff and faking an accent and all that. I mean, he won the West last year for them. I don't care how he did it. He won the West. Like, I don't think this guy is super overrated. Now, maybe a tad overrated, fine. I do think there's a difference.
Then why did his
coaching.
team quit in the second half?
I think there's a difference in coaching in the long run of being relevant and good and winning it all. That's another step that a lot of guys can't make in winning it all. Jimbo Fisher certainly, well, he did it at Florida State, but he's having trouble doing that right now at Texas A&M. I think some guys have trouble doing that. I think that's what makes Kirby Smart so good right now. I think that's what makes Nick Saban so great for what he's been able to do. And Dabo Swinney was able to get there and win, which makes a difference. So I'll come with you that he can't win the biggest of games to get him. But I'm not coming with you that he's a super overrated guy. I mean, the guy's a good football coach. And my point in this is Mike Norvell's a really good football coach.
Really good. And he's assembled a really good roster. And I think my favorite stat that jumped out of me in the box score is that you look at FSU the last couple of years, they've been a run-first team. They've had some of the best backs in the country in terms of stats. They had a three-headed monster last year that was just unstoppable. You look at this game, it was dominated by air yards with Jordan Travis and his new receiving squad. You got Keon Coleman, 122 yards. Johnny Wilson, big story with 7 catches, 104. Jaheim Bell was the transfer portal tight end everyone was talking about with 49 yards. The back to a Philly, he had 49 yards. Like Jordan Travis was out there getting the work done yesterday.
Travis is terrific, right? I mean, he's a heck of a story. He is composed. He's 23 years old. He's that old guy who's been around forever, and he's been in the system, and I love that part of it. But again, Mike Norvell, what he did when the Florida State Seminoles lost 3 games in a row last year to rescue that thing and go on the run and keep winning, including in the bowl game. And then to come out here against LSU and really not look good in the second quarter, but able to survive a little bit of the storm and then boat race the Tigers on Sunday night. I mean, he's for real. To me, he's a big-time college coach now. He's exactly what they thought he could be when he got him from Memphis. It took a little bit of time. He's absolutely turned them around. They are for real, and I believe now one of the teams to beat in college football, especially after what I just watched with Clemson on Monday night. The friction in the ACC is just not going to be there.
No.
I think it's clear they have better athletes and playmakers than every team in the country outside of Alabama, Georgia, and USC.
I do think this team's going to get better.
I don't think it's close.
USC you throw in there. That's good. Yeah.
USC has the receiver. USC, I don't know where they were in the ranking or whatever. USC is dangerous because they have 3-4 receivers and 2-3 backs and 2 corners and 2 guys that can rush the passer that are just legit great.
USC currently ranks 6th in the AP poll.
Too low. And Florida State has those guys. Alabama always has those guys, and Georgia has those guys.
Yeah, that's a good call.
And Mike Norvell's done a good job of finding those guys and bringing those guys in. But I think the thing about Mike Norvell is even when they weren't good, they've had some bad moments, but I never felt like they quit on him. LSU quit on Brian Kelly the other night.
Yeah.
That second half was embarrassing. They were not as good. Again, Florida State, I think, is a top 4, university, whatever you want to call it, roster in the country. LSU quit in the second half. They should not have gotten blown out and dominated the way that they did.
Yeah, because LSU has a lot of dudes, too. Like that, they always,
do.
even when they're not good, as good, they always got the guys. The thing that's going to challenge Florida State a little bit, in my opinion, in the context you're talking about, the Alabamas and Georgia specifically, and I think even USC is challenged in this. Do they have the depth of that talent, right? And so can you keep going down the road if you have an injury on the offensive line or that defensive front, whatever it is? And we'll find out. We'll see. Because that's like the next phase of it. Just keep getting barrels and barrels of good players because that's what those other teams have been able to do. But, I mean, what a performance. And listen, I wish, because I'm not people claim that I'm like a Gator fan or whatever they want to claim. I'm a fan of when all of them are good because I'm not a fan of any of them.
Bro, they ain't all good.
And I know Florida's bad, but this is good to see. One of the craziest things I've ever seen in the last handful of years or decade around here is the fact that Florida can be as bad as they've been at times, Florida State can be as bad as they've been at times, and even Miami can be as bad as they've been at times. Like, they should not be that bad ever in college football in the state of Florida, and they have been. And so I love the fact that Florida State's back. Now, will they get it going again, Billy Napier? At Florida, we'll see. It doesn't look great right now, but it didn't look great in year 2 under Mike Norvell either. So I'll warn Gator fans of that. They stayed patient. He turned it around. I don't know what's going on in Miami. We'll see if they can they've been trying to get relevant since feels like the late 90s, early 2000s again.
I don't know, man. It felt like Mike Norvell always could coach. Napier had no clue what he was doing.
The difference in the two right now is the organization. The one thing about Mike Norvell, he's always been known as this organized guy, and that's one of the reasons they brought him in on the heels of Willie Taggart, who was so unorganized. They were like, we got to cross the T's and dot the I's. If we can do that, we'll feel a little bit better about our program. Well, Norvell's very good at that. I'm not saying Napier's as bad as it looked the other night at that, but it certainly looked bad. And he's going to clean that up, and he's got to clean that up right away for people to believe that he can turn it around and fix it. You've got to at least be clean. We saw too many teams be clean, and that brings us to a guy like Deion Sanders. It is the most impressive thing that Deion did the other day, that Colorado did, is that they looked good out of the gates. Yeah, they got 87% transfers. You know how hard that is to get everybody together on the first game of the year? And for you to be the first-year coach?
You're undersized. It's not 87%. It's 87 humans.
Oh, it's 87 humans. That's what the number is.
Newcomers at Colorado.
I mean, it's just amazing. I thought that was I was so impressed with Deion in that realm.
Oh, totally.
He's either delegating the right way. He's got a really good coaching staff. They're obviously he's got their attention. Deion getting players' attention, that's not a problem.
No.
That's not a problem. Getting recruits, not a problem.
None.
But I've always believed that guys like Deion, they have everybody do everything for them in their life since they were like 15 years old. Want me to do your homework? Sure. Want me to do this? Sure. Want me to go get you the car? Want me to get you a snack? Want me to get you this? They don't do anything. So I think the biggest challenges for guys like this that get into coaching is you then have to do almost everything from a detailed and organized way and stuff that you've never done. And he obviously did it at Jackson State. And he's doing it at Colorado. That's where I am most impressed with Deion Sanders. And I think maybe the reason, and maybe I'm not giving him enough credit, Deion with his branding was probably in control of Deion the brand way more than I thought.
I mean, that
so
might
he knew
be
how
the
to
case.
delegate, put a team together, organize things, maybe?
I mean, he really just took a lot of Jackson State and transferred it to Colorado, whether it be players or coaching staff.
You still have to organize it and coach it.
You're right.
And
you're not wrong.
They didn't look like they lined up wrong.
Very impressive team. 87 newcomers.
They only have 4 penalties, I think, in the game.
Very few penalties in the game. They all looked like they were on the same page. They came out, guns blaring. It was an extremely impressive win. And to your point about preseason polls or polling in general, no one saw Colorado coming before the game.
No.
21.5 points.
That was crazy that they were, because people were giving TCU, again, this is what happens, and even Vegas falls in the trap. TCU had like 85% of their roster new.
What are you supposed to do with Colorado, though?
Not 21.
But
That's
they won
a lot
one
of
game
points.
last year, and then everyone's new. If you're not sure what you're going to get, you err on the side of what they did.
When in doubt, give them 2 scores, not 3. 3 scores?
Yeah.
How is TCU going to score 21 unanswered? Honestly. That's a lot of points. In week 1, that's a lot of points, boy. And I said, holy cow, here we go.
And then, by the way, Shedeur Sanders now enters the conversation for next year's draft being a first-round draft pick.
So do you love the deal on it, really?
No, I love it. I love it because, number one, it's not done by anybody else, right? Just like it was in the NFL and the MLB when he was a player, he's doing stuff now that you just hadn't seen before he started doing it. And now in his wake, you're going to see people do it at a large volume next year, I believe, unless these new rules and laws come into existence that stop them.
Kasey, you love it?
I'm with it. It's interesting.
Very
it's a fun
interesting.
watch. I mean, the two things that are wild to me is I have never seen a person with that much security.
I will say this.
That was insane.
I hated when he got to Colorado. In case, I think we talked about it when it happened. When he got to Colorado and he's looking these young 19-year-old boys in the face going, you're all garbage, so pack up and go.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
Like, that's kind of rough for a college kid to hear. But at the same time, this is what they're trying to do with their life.
Yeah, it was fascinating just watching my world when it comes to Deion Saturday. I'm not a huge Deion guy, all right? But I also, throughout this process, have been fascinated by it. And the reason why am I not a big Deion guy? Well, it's like me all the time. Everything's Deion. Like, that's not what we're like brought up to think, or like sports-wise, it's team and everything. Like, he defies a lot of that. That's why he played for so many teams as a player. He couldn't stay on one team because he kind of got tired of the Deion act, I think. And even like to as much as last week, where when he left the HBCUs, he got a lot of criticism for that, right? Well, I think the whole thing about not graduating from Florida State was all based on the criticism that he had received. And this was his way to throw back to, no, I'm an HBCU guy, kind of like when it's convenient type of thing. He's a Florida State guy. That's how people know him,
That's how people know him. It doesn't mean that's who he is.
I think it was a little bit.
I'm with Deion on that one.
I thought it was. Nobody said. I didn't think it was real. I thought it was a little bit of an act.
To me, it sounded like he's got some resentment and some bitterness at FSU.
Probably, and that might be part of it as well. I thought it was a make good a little bit for the haters that when he left the HBCUs. So Ty and I, we're not watching on TV, but we're watching it like on the phone. And I feel like Ty at 18 years old, like, he's loving it, like rooting for Deion in Colorado. I don't know if he had a little something on it. I'm not sure. But
21.5 points, Brent. He better have. But that's my guy.
But I'm kind of like, I don't know if I want this Deion stuff. Like, I'm like, get off my lawn guy on Deion a little bit, right? And so it's fascinating to kind of watch that. Yet I'm still super impressed with it. Yet I also just tweeted this. I'm going to be tired of Deion by November 1st. Like, I guarantee it. Like, I'm going to be tired of him.
Not if they keep making the spread the way it is. Holy cow.
I tweeted this over the weekend, guys. I think and I've said this before on our show, I think Deion is the perfect guy for today's landscape in sports. It is me. It's a combination of team and my brand and what I bring and how much I'm worth. NILs, transfer portals. It's okay to be like, this is all about me as long as I can still blend in with the team and we can win. And I think that Deion is going to bring that to Colorado. Deion's going to do it a little bit different. Like that, Deion's always done that part. But I think his relationship with today's athlete and the landscape of today's sport is really what gives him an advantage, because guys like Dabo Swinney are not into that at all.
No, they look ancient in comparison, too.
And by the way, in a world that is really, in fairness to Dabo and everybody else, it's changed in like a 3-year span.
That's fair.
And so Dabo's got to catch up with it now, because it's crystal clear he ain't got it unless he starts doing some of the things everybody else is doing, which he will sooner or later. Mike Krzyzewski never wanted to do the one-and-done guys until you had to do the one-and-done guys.
Yep.
He will cave to that, or he won't be successful. But I just think Deion is he's just a perfect blend for right now. That being said, I'm still not convinced like Colorado's very good. I think they beat TCU, who's not that good.
Oh.
We'll see. We'll see. I'm just not like where do you think Colorado is? Colorado like a top 15 team in the country? Like,
Well,
are they
I don't
top
know about
20? Are they top 10? Are they top?
They're beating Nebraska by at least 3. I know that.
That's all you care about.
They
Love
play
that Nebraska
13th ranked Oregon in 3 weeks.
They will lose to Oregon.
6th ranked USC the week after.
They will get blitzed by USC.
And then
They'll lose to Utah at the end of the year probably.
They got Utah number 12 at the end of the year. They got Oregon State on the way, number 16. Like, they got a tough
Oregon
schedule.
State is sneaky good.
Yeah, I'm not surprised if they lose to Nebraska here next week. I'm just telling you. Like, I wouldn't be
shocked.
Because, well, here's the deal.
And upset.
One
really
thing
upset.
that happened about Colorado on this past weekend, they ain't sneaking up on anybody now.
No, now everybody's looking. I'll say this, though, Case, if Colorado wins out.
They ain't winning out.
I'm saying if they do.
12-0?
I mean, they got they got winnable games on the schedule if you believe they're better than 22.
Yeah, I mean, they're not beating USC. I don't think they're beating Oregon, but like Nebraska, Colorado State, Arizona State, Stanford, UCLA.
You saw Utah play. You don't think Colorado could beat Utah?
I think at the end of the year is tough.
Okay.
It depends on where Utah is. I think that could be a really good game, but they're going to win 8 games.
This could end up being one of the tougher schemes in college football.
I think it's a win if they finish over 500, honestly. Like they did have one win last year.
They did.
Right?
Over 500? Did you not watch? I know you said you were on a phone and you
Listen.
couldn't see the full TV.
Let me ask you something.
He was looking on Amazon Prime.
That was you just said it. That was their first game together.
I get it. It's also the first game you have tape on them. Now the hype changes. Now the target comes. I'll just give you an example.
The tape is you can't cover Travis Hunter, and you
Florida beat Utah
also, TCU
last year.
has
Florida beat
pretty
Utah
bad
last year, and Anthony
secondary.
Richardson played well in the opener.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't tell the whole story.
Okay.
No, it doesn't. I just don't believe.
Fine.
Like, if we do picks this week, are we doing picks this year? If we do picks, I'll pick Nebraska to beat Colorado this week.
Oh, find a board Case.
You will pick Nebraska.
Yes.
Did you watch Nebraska play?
I did do that too.
All right. Oh yeah. Oh man. Straight up, you're gonna pick Nebraska to win the football game?
Yeah.
What real life thing can we put on it? Like, I'm not even interested in the dollar at this point.
If Kasey loses, you got to buy him a smart car, but he has to drive it to work every day. Little tiny thing with his head sticking out of the window.
So I get a free car?
That's not happening.
They're cheap. They're like $2,000.
They become quickly, though, just this conversation alone, the most fascinating team in the country.
Yes.
Home opener, they lose to Nebraska. Are you sure? They sold out the spring game.
Do you think Deion would fire himself if he lost the home opener to Nebraska?
Like, I think he'd be mad.
Yeah. He goes, I'm playing next week.
That's the other takeaway from all this. That has nothing to do with anything, really. Deion is not in great shape. Like, he is, but
health-wise.
The leg,
yeah,
whatever's going on there.
It's not good.
I was kind of shocked by that.
Well, it could have been worse,
He
too.
was struggling.
Yeah, he actually got good news on that.
That was
leg,
actually good news. What, he lose a couple of toes, I think? But he almost had his foot amputated.
They almost had to amputate the leg. Yeah.
Right?
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is pretty bizarre.
I guess I just didn't expect it to look like that because it's not going to get better, right?
It is a wild juxtaposition to look at these athletes, these gladiators from our youth turn into these fragile old men because it catches up to you.
Well, and the thing about it is he doesn't look old.
No.
Like, he still kind of walks around looking like he's 30 years old, you know?
When they showed him, like, with the headset on from,
Yeah,
the chest, I'm like,
with the cool sweatshirt and all the swag and, just he's sitting at a news conference, like all those things. So I think that's why it's a little more stunning to our eyes to see that. But listen, it's a cool story really in Colorado because they didn't even have the money to pay Deion Sanders. You see that part of it?
Yeah.
Like they just took a flyer that they would, and they end up selling most season tickets since like 1990, whatever.
And the AD was like, I heard we're getting 21.5 in the opener. We'll make this money right here. 21.5. Think about that.
Might not want to put that on him. A lot of people are getting suspended for that.
I'm just kidding.
But is there anybody in Iowa get suspended for gambling today? I mean, I get an alert every week about an Iowa player or Iowa State player against. What are they doing in Iowa?
Well, that was another crazy thing that happened. This was part of the 7-0 weekend I had. Did you see Iowa, who can't score, hasn't scored points in years at a high rate? Utah State got 28 of them. 28 points. Don't know a single player on Utah State, hammered it, and they covered.
Did you see actually the better Iowa stat was they had an opening drive touchdown, or their first touchdown, I think, of the season, was a passing touchdown for the first time since 1991.
Saw that.
What in the world?
Like 30
How
plus
does that
years
happen?
ago.
They're up 14-0 too. I was scared.
Wow. That's crazy. College football was a lot of fun this weekend.
How many wins at the end of the season for Colorado?
I'll say 7.
Case?
8. They'll get one of the big teams.
The floor is 10 wins for Colorado. I'm all in. All in.
Which ones are they losing then, out of curiosity?
From 1 win to 10 wins. I think they'll lose USC, and I think they'll lose, not Utah.
Oregon? Oregon on the road?
Oregon on the road is okay, I'll go Oregon on the road.
Yo, USC coming to Colorado at night, that's going to be wild.
That's a good game.
That's a good game. We should go.
We should go.
I love Colorado.
It's my birthday, literally.
It is.
We should go. Brent?
No.
It's still.
Well, you're the money. What do you mean?
It's still in September. Brent, you're fine.
How are we supposed to go if you're not going?
Brent.
You're not.
Who's going to pay for it?
You're not.
What the hell?
We're not going.
Case, you got to.
We are going to break, though. Make sure you check us out on YouTube. Subscribe.
This
Action
is what we
Sports
bet on.
Jacks. And listen to the show. All we do on TV, CBS 47, Fox 30. Our Blitz scoreboard show as well. Committed to the uncommitted. All of the above right there on YouTube for you. Just subscribe to the Action Sports Jacks channel. All right, back to the Jags. Trevor Lawrence. Some people say MVP. What's year 3 going to be like for Trevor? That's next on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Lots of sun and comfortable humidity again today, with highs in the mid-80s at the beaches to near 90 this afternoon inland. Back down into the 60s inland tonight, and then partly sunny, hotter tomorrow with highs 90 to 95. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Join me today beginning at 5 p.m. on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jags.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beard's Diamonds. Before you buy a diamond anywhere, shop and compare and save thousands at Beard's Diamonds.
At Community First, seeing members live their best lives is our best reward, but this one's pretty good too. We've been named Florida's Credit Union of the Year by the League of Southeastern Credit Unions and Affiliates. To see why and how we can help you, visit communityfirstfl.org, member NCUA.
What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. From complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
That's Mike saying good morning. It's the best he can do right now. Yeah, not a cloud in the sky. What Mike could use is a fresh start. And Irish Spring Body Wash. The fresh scent of Irish Spring and those sensational Irish Spring suds are just the reset Mike needs. Now he's ready
to go to work.
It's Sunday. Irish Spring. When the spring hits you, you're ready. Pick up Irish Spring at Walmart today.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right?
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Ooh, pass me the intercom thingy.
Attention shoppers. If you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Don't pay for water. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods.
Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Pass to Celsius. 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 Still Celsius. 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 Goal. Goal, 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 goal. Incredible. Celsius Essential Energy Drinks, the official energy drink of the MLS.
Be ready for anything on the road or off the road this summer at Nimnick Buick GMC. Car Bravo is here, a better way to shop used vehicles with transparent pricing. Nimnick Buick GMC has joined the Car Bravo family and is the only Car Bravo dealer in Northeast Florida. Are you looking for a used car under $20,000? Check out Nimnick Buick GMC on Phillips Highway or NimnickBuickGMC.com. Want an oil change from the comfort of your living room? Check out NimnickBuickGMC.com. Mobile oil changes with Nimnick GMC. We are professional grade. Innovation Refunds has been helping small businesses that qualify to get a business payroll tax refund through the Employee Retention Credit. It's also known as the ERC. The ERC is a tax refund for businesses with more than 5 employees, and the business kept employees on the payroll for parts of the 2020 and 2021 calendar years. Innovation Refunds is dedicated to helping business owners navigate the process. The tax filing is complex, and Innovation Refunds has independent tax attorneys who understand the importance of your information, and those attorneys can help your business claims stay compliant with IRS regulations and guidelines. Innovation Refund survey research shows that a large number of small businesses who had from 5 to 500 full-time employees in 2020 or 2021 might be eligible for an ERC tax deduction. Go to innovationrefunds.com or dial 1-843-REFUNDS. That's innovationrefunds.com or 1-843-REFUNDS. Innovation Refunds does not provide tax or legal advice. They work with an independent network of tax professionals and will share information with them to evaluate and process your claims. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey y'all, this is 17-time PGA Tour winner Jim Furyk inviting you to the 3rd annual Constellation Furyk and Friends presented by Circle K this October 2nd to 8th at Timuquana Country Club. Be sure to check out college football and your Jaguars on the Jumbotrons and the Publix Tailgate Village, Birdie Beers at Circle K Party Porch, the ViStar Patriots Outpost, and more. Grab your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com to see the legends of the game compete for a spot in the PGA Tour Champions playoffs. Don't forget Ticketmaster.com to get your tickets today.
Discover how good your water can be with the new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's Twin Tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available. We have one in our home. We absolutely love it, have had it for over 5 years. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. Right now, you can save up to $1,000 on a Connecticut K5 drinking water system when you purchase a Connecticut Premier softener. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com, 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer, Florida license number CFC 1428211.
Alice Cooper, Too Close for Comfort. No more. October 4th, St. Augustine Amphitheater. Alice Cooper, live. On sale now at Ticketmaster.com.
When my daughter gets a cold, I have a secret weapon. DayQuil Kids Berry from Vicks. DayQuil Kids is specially formulated to treat kids' most bothersome cold and cough symptoms quickly. And the best part is that DayQuil Kids Berry tastes really great. Aren't you supposed to be resting? Maybe.
DayQuil Kids Berry. The kids' berry-licious daytime congestion, coughing, stuffy head, stuffy nose, just for kids. Medicine. Safe for kids 6 years plus.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
Hey, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. Did you know you can watch our radio show? Yeah, video of a radio show. Just search ESPN 690 Jacks on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Or follow me on Twitter at Brent A.S. Jacks. Watch the show live weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. or listen on ESPN 690. You like this music, Ben? Excited.
It's a banger. Come on.
Woo. Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, and that's Kasey Kurtz.
We just go with the hot hand, Brent.
Let's go with the hot hand.
Whoever's got the hot hand in the broadcast booth, that's us. We'll go with them.
Well, you hope Trevor Lawrence has the hot hand on Sunday.
Oh, Mr. Segway.
You know, you bring up all these stats and kill trees and stuff like that with this stuff.
Yeah.
You know what? This line catches me. Trevor Lawrence, one of 9 quarterbacks with more than 4,000 passing yards last season. I feel like we've already gone to the world of 4,000 yards passing is just what it is. I thought there'd be more than 9 of the quarterbacks that did that. But
yeah,
you
I
gotta
think
stay
you're
healthy.
a little skewed on that.
Yeah, I am a little skewed on that mentally.
It is a passing league.
But how many were at like 3,800, almost 4,000?
Okay, and we can check on that for you. I will say, like 20 years ago, it was definitely a more highly regarded stat than I think it is today.
Well, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Because now we're approaching like 5,000-yard numbers being talked about. Now, Brady did it, and Mahomes have done it. People have done it. But we're like actually talking about, okay, that's the metric. You had an MVP season if you get to like 5,000.
So Jalen Hurts was the top 3,000-yard thrower at 3,700, 3,701. And that was right under Trev.
And he missed 2 games.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You got 10 throwers, 9 throwers, or I think you said that, at 4,000 or above.
Why do you keep saying throwers?
Passers.
Okay. It's throwing me off.
They throw the football.
Yeah. Didn't like it.
Like Aaron Rodgers, 36.95. Tua's 35.48. Jalen's 37.01. So Jalen missed 2 games. Tua missed games. Aaron Rodgers was hurt.
Tua threw for 3,500 and missed like half a season.
He did. That's crazy. He would have
cow.
been probably thrown for 5,000.
Russ at 3,500. Derek Carr at 3,500.
Well, listen, that's what I'm saying. Like the default, you don't have to be. It doesn't say you're having a good year if you throw for 36.
So is 4,500 the new number for you? Because that would put you in a class with 4.
I guess
throwers.
Here's what I say. I just don't think the yards tell me a whole lot. Like if you tell me if you tell me a guy threw for 4,300, that doesn't mean I think he had a great season. That's not where my mind goes. Now, if you tell me he had 30 touchdowns, I think he had a great season. Highly unlikely he threw 30 touchdowns and 20-plus picks unless you're like Jameis Winston.
Well, Geno Smith.
Nice. Good shot there, Brent.
4,300 yards throwing.
What happened to Jameis Winston?
30 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Good year.
Still on the Saints.
Yeah. But like the highest touchdowns you're going to find sub 4,000 is Aaron Rodgers at 26.
Yeah. You're just not going to get it. The bottom line, I don't care how many yards Trevor throws for. That's not what this is. It's what it looks like. And yards and touchdowns and interceptions, certainly the case. Wins. And you know how I feel about this. When it comes to Trevor and Doug Peterson in this offense, it's can you dictate play? Can you come out of the gates on Sunday against Indianapolis, show them you're the better team, and jump out to a 10-0 lead? Now, I also know how the NFL works. They're going to come back a little bit. You're going to give up a play. It's going to get a little closer. And then when it's time to pull away again and get the touchdown when you need it, can you do it? That's the way the league works. That's what the good quarterbacks in the league do. They dictate the action. Peyton Manning's done that. Brady's done it for years. I do think Burrow and Mahomes and guys like that now do that. I think that's what Hurts is doing in Philadelphia. I don't think it's just Hurts. I think it's their entire offense dictating play. As good as their defense is, you still know that their offense is so damn physical. That offensive line is so good. They're deadly on 4th and short. Like, they're explosive when they need to be with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. So as good as their defensive players are, you don't think about their defensive players. You're still thinking of them as an offensive team. I think the Jags have some good defensive players. They might make some big defensive plays. This is an offensive team, and it's led by Trevor Lawrence. And there are some people that think he can win the MVP this year, and why not? Albert Breer had an article this week about the maturation of what he now knows. I will tell you from being down on the sideline, this is one fun thing I like about doing preseason sideline, is you get to see him interact differently than if I'm in the press box or even if you're in the stands, I believe. When you get to see him interact with players, what I saw a big difference in is last year I thought there was a lot of every time coming off the field, Doug Peterson, Mike McCoy, like there were conversations about the offense, what it looked like. I saw a lot less of that and more Trevor pointing to the screen on the surface, telling him what he saw, or going to an offensive lineman and saying this, or going to a receiver and saying that. Like he was the one in control. Hard to eloquently say it, but that's kind of what it looked like to my eyes, is that this is his offense. Sure, it's Doug. It's everybody else who put it together, but he's in command of it, which means it's his offense. He's the one that's seeing it, knows what he's supposed to do. I'll give you another thing about that. We're in the production meetings, and he's talking about his relationship with Calvin Ridley. And this is how detailed they get into at this position, but also how detailed he's willing to get into now and comfortable doing, is he's now working with Calvin Ridley on the way he wants Calvin Ridley to run the route, not necessarily how Calvin Ridley wants to run the route.
Yeah.
If you watched Hard Knocks a little bit, and I didn't really watch it, I just saw some of the clips, You really see a lot of that from guys like Aaron Rodgers, right?
Totally.
You see, hey, this is what you should see. This is what you need to do. Whether he's coaching up Zach Wilson or talking to a receiver or somebody else. I saw that stuff from Trevor. I'm not saying at the level of Aaron Rodgers. He's got a lot more years to catch up in that regard. But I think that's when you hear people say he's more comfortable about it, confident about it, knows what to expect, knows what he doesn't like, knows what he likes. I think that's what they're referring to. And I'm telling you, I saw it up close and in action in the preseason. We'll see if it translates to the regular season.
You mentioned Aaron Rodgers. He's one of the most precise when it comes to these timing routes in the NFL. And that's why he's got that reputation for what they call being notoriously hard on receivers. But anyone who plays with him just says he's precise. He knows exactly where he wants you at exactly what time. They also say there's no one better at adapting to changing your drop back 3-5 steps or angles and progressions and stuff like that based on what you're given. But Trevor is walking that route. Trevor's a guy with a quick release, doesn't like holding on to the football too long, likes to know what's out there before it happens. And you see the numbers grow because of it.
Yeah, I think, Kasey, I think we're going to get to a point with Trevor, and I kind of felt like we were like this at times in the preseason already, where we're really not even watching or grading how he does. We're just assuming that it's going to be good, and we're looking at everybody else. You know what I mean? Because that's what we do. Unless Patrick Mahomes makes a great play, now we're like, oh, yeah, that's Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, now watch what Kelsey does on this play, or watch what Kadarius Toney does on this play. There's a lot to watch on the Jags offense, but I think we're already almost there, almost to the point where we're going to take Trevor for granted because the expectation is he's just going to do this normally.
Yeah, he's going to make basically what you're saying is he's going to make the routine plays that quarterbacks should make that they haven't made in Jacksonville for a while. And then when something extraordinary happens, we're going to be like, oh, yeah, that's right. Of course that happened because it's Trevor.
What week did they play Indianapolis last year? Do you remember? I don't remember. Let me look it up. And the reason I bring this up is
you're talking the first or second game.
It would have been the first game.
Wasn't it the first home game?
Was it the opener?
Yeah, they were 2-1.
They got off to a 2-1 start last year.
Then they beat the Chargers on the road. And then the away game was like week 5.
Okay, so they beat the Colts, they beat the Chargers.
They played the Commanders week 1.
Oh, no, yeah.
Colts
okay.
week 2.
So it was week 2.
Yeah, that's
okay.
what I'm saying.
My bad. So it was Commanders. That's why they were 2-1 going to Philly, right? And then they jumped out to the big lead.
Yes.
And see, I think that game, and I know like everybody says Trevor's step, and I think he would even indicate this, and Doug has said it, and again, Albert Breer's article mentioned like the Raiders game and then the Ravens game. But after London, everybody points to as an interception against the Broncos, and then he kind of changed. I get it, and I'm with you on a lot of that stuff. But I actually think there was an early tell about the maturation and growth with Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence in year 2 in the Indy game. And the reason I say that is because in year 1, and even against the Commanders in the season opening game, he tried to do things that he shouldn't have tried to do. Push it down the field. Remember against the Commanders where he was like, took a sack to get out of field goal range or something because he was under pressure? Like those kind of plays. Well, the thing he did against Indianapolis, they had this game plan because it was against Gus Bradley's defense. And if you're patient against that defense and take what they give you, all the underneath stuff, well, it's there. And that's what he did against Indianapolis in week 2. Remember, he had some crazy completion percentage in that game.
He was 25 of 30.
Yeah. It was boom, 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 right? He was just checking it down or throwing to what's open or little 7-yard routes, like
letting it come to him.
That's what he did. And I thought that was a heck of a sign of maturation, what he can be, the smarts that he had, and it was brilliantly played. I remember coming out of that game and everybody was talking about, wow, you really executed the game plan. Didn't need to take shots. Take what they gave you. There were long drives that they put together. And I'm not sure it looked exactly like that in Indianapolis, but one thing, don't get lost on this. They lost to Indianapolis last year, but they lost because of the defense. I mean, the offense looked pretty good. I think they scored 30-something against Indianapolis in the second matchup. Or maybe it was high 20s or something. So I love this matchup with Trevor going against Gus's defense and kind of knowing what to expect. And I think the maturity level is there. And we add in, Kasey, how many out routes are we going to see between Trevor and Calvin Ridley in this game alone?
16.
Like it feels like it. Because that's what Gus's defense gives you, that underneath stuff. They want to protect against the big play. and they want to make sure, can you drive the length of the field? I feel like we're just going to see a lot of this little passing, mixing with the run, but a lot of passing and the accuracy stuff and take what they give you. And it might not even be a shot in this game.
By the way, it doesn't
help. They might
that
not need it.
Shaq Leonard is in concussion protocol for the
and he's going to miss again. He missed both the games last year.
Did he play at all last year?
I think he missed most of the year, if not all. I think he came back in one of the games. But the back
he played last year.
Injury.
It was a back injury.
It was a back injury, right?
He came back in like one game in the middle and then missed the rest.
Well, I think there was like a leg injury to start the year, and then it became a back injury at the second half of the year.
And who knows? He's been out for so long, it's kind of hard to gauge how good he still is.
It's a shame.
But before he got hurt,
he was great.
He was a turnover machine.
Game wrecker, yeah.
They really are on paper. I mean, they are without some big guys. And they might be on their third and fourth running backs in this game. But Matt Ryan tore him apart. The X factor is still Anthony Richardson on that. But really the X factor is Trevor, and that's my point. Control the game. He might have 4 drives over 8 minutes in this game if they just do what they're supposed to do against Indianapolis.
Win by a touchdown, cover the spread.
Brent Friends on ESPN 690.
Brent and Friends is sponsored by Best Bet, now open in St. Augustine.
ESPN 690 wants to pay your bills. We'll have 5 chances every weekday to win $1,000. All you have to do is enter the correct keyword at ESPN690.com to be eligible to win. This is a nationwide contest. Message and data rates apply. ESPN 690 pays your bills. Sponsored by Arlington Toyota with over 800 new and used vehicles available. Weekdays at 8 a.m., 10 a.m., noon, 2 and 5 p.m. Tune in to win from ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Firefighters, paramedics, police officers, they take care of us, and at AMCO, we're proud to take care of them. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. As an essential business, we work on every kind of car repair with flexible financing and extra safety precautions. Essential, reliable, trusted. That's the men and women who are there for us, and it's our honor to be there for them. AA MCO.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
Hey, this is Bruce.
And I'm Carrie.
We're the owners of Koala Insulation. It's a great time of year to invest in energy-efficient improvements to your home. With our competitive rates and new tax credits for insulation upgrades, you can get huge savings to improve your insulation today and see long-term savings every month going forward.
Give us a call and set up your free evaluation at 679-6282 or find us online at koalainsulation.com.
This is Ortho Health Insights, tips for life in motion, brought to you by the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. You are never too old or too young to begin improving your orthopedic health. Hundreds of thousands of knee replacements and hip replacements are performed each year in the United States, and those numbers are on the rise. But some of these surgeries are preventable. Exercise and health lifestyles have a direct effect on muscle strength, joint flexibility, and bone density. Maintaining a healthy body weight can lessen the effects of osteoarthritis and prevent injuries. Hip pain is a common problem and can cause discomfort and difficulty in walking, sitting, and daily life like working and playing sports. If you are experiencing hip pain, the hip orthopedic physicians at JOI are experienced in diagnosing the cause and treatment of your hip pain. Whether you need a course of physical therapy or surgery, JOI can help. Call 904-JOI-2000. That's 904-JOI-2000. Or learn more at JOI.net. JOI is the official sports medicine provider for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jay is a foodie and a chef.
I'm a food truck owner with dreams of something bigger.
And at Community First, we get that. And we get you. We were founded over 88 years ago to help members live their best lives by providing the financial services they need. Today, that includes digital banking, great rates, and local decision-making.
So just be yourself.
At Community First and on the go. Learn more at communityfirstfl.org. Member NCUA.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Best Bet is number one. That's right. Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park have one card poker, the fastest and easiest card game to learn and play. Play against a designated player, one card at a time, and the highest card wins even money. If the card values are the same, it's time for war. Just like the game you remember. You must be 18 years or older to play. More at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
AutoZone is more than a parts store. It's where we help you solve problems like, sorry I'm late, my battery died. And
I need a jump. Again.
At America's #1 battery destination, you can find the right battery at the right price with options starting at only $89.99. And we offer free battery testing and charging whenever you need it. Get the parts and help you need to get the job done right at AutoZone.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
At the Home Depot, Saturdays are about two things. Getting ready for company with the Samsung Family Hub Plus refrigerator.
And football.
That's right, Kirk Herbstreit. Search for recipes, check out scores, or even stream the game to the screen at the same time, so you never miss a second of the action. Which means you can make your famous buffalo chicken dip and have
more time for football.
For football. Upgrade your Saturday with Samsung and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Action Sports Jacks. Watch, listen, subscribe. You can watch us on CBS 47 and Fox 30. You can listen right here on ESPN 690. And you can subscribe to our YouTube and podcast, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690. Action Sports Jacks. Watch, listen, subscribe. The Action Sports Jacks Dream 18 is coming up in less than 2 weeks over at Southampton yesterday. That's where our tournament will be. Our title sponsor, Cadillac, back once again. Raise money for St. Michael's Soldiers and North Florida Junior Golf Foundation. If you are signed up to play, well, we can't wait to see you. If you're not, you might be able to sneak in. I say that like I don't want to deny everybody, but I really don't want too many people playing. Like it's a hefty, like we don't sell out of our event. Because a sold out like event usually in golf is I want to say it's like 144 people.
Jeez.
But we don't want to go that far because it takes too long to play. So I like to be right around 120 people. And we're like about there. But then there will be somebody that can't make it that day or somebody like that, something. So we usually have an opening if you want to get in. That's kind of the way I'm saying it. We'd love to have you if you want to get in. ActionSportsJacksDream18.com and we got some of the goodies. We got the hats. We already showed you. Kasey wears it every day. I appreciate that.
I was just out on the golf course 2 days ago.
Really?
No, of course not. It was like 100 degrees outside.
Well, then I'm not giving you a head cover because you don't need one. You don't have a driver.
That's right.
Can I get another hat?
Another one already?
Yeah.
Wow.
You got marinara on this
I'm
one.
Paying for those right now, actually, as we speak. And
money seems to be an issue this
Those
year.
are from Dome Hats. Sure, go ahead. They're in Jack's Beach. They should just sell them.
They should.
They should.
You should.
Maybe I should.
You need a merch store, Brent.
I know. We thought about that. We've been talking about that. Here's one of my favorite parts of the tournament. Food on the course.
Oh, okay.
Check it out. Ready? You want to hear them all?
Sure.
Jumpin' Jack's House of Food. Metro Diner.
Awesome.
Smoothie King.
Great.
Front Porch Kettle Corn.
Ooh, the kettle corn has
is
a reputation.
Back, Kasey. Kasey's eyes light up on the kettle corn.
Kettle corn's got a reputation.
Well, Vita de Louis out there. Itty Bitty Donuts coming for breakfast. I've never had itty bitty donuts, but we appreciate they're on board this year. Breakfast is always one of my most difficult things to do because we have vendors all over the place. But we appreciate them for jumping out. CGC Water, of course, will be bringing the water. Mambo's, like Cuban food.
Love me some Mambo's.
It'll be out there. Willie Jules Barbecue, Donato's, Fogo de Chao.
Fogo de Chao.
Hurricanes as well. How about that?
Well, you shaking your head, Case.
I'm not.
Because Brent is an uncultured boob.
It's a lot of food.
Doesn't know how to say the word Fogo de Chao.
Yes, that's exactly
All right,
it.
just checking.
So that's a lot of food.
That is a lot of food. But
I figured that would get you guys
happy?
there anyway. Like I know you don't like the sun, golf,
I would go out for some
outside,
food now.
anything, but I mean there'll be food
you
there
can
for
promise me a golf cart with ample shading and some of that food, I'll be out there.
All right. Well, you're welcome to come.
Thank you.
Won't hurt my feelings if you don't, but you're welcome to come.
Andy Cray says, Bert, can I get a hat in London in October?
Think about it. Where am I going to see you? Is it better just to ship it?
You might as well take it with you, bro.
Aren't you going
He'll
to London?
Be at the game.
I am. Where
Andy's
am I
in
going to
London?
find Andy?
Andy will be at the game.
London's a big place.
Andy will be at the game. Won't you be at the game?
Andy,
I will.
I'll text you
Wembley
back.
Stadium's a big place.
I'll text you back offline with Brent's phone
We don't need that. Stuart got married over the weekend.
My condolences to whoever he married.
Courtney.
Oh, Courtney.
This was...
We barely knew you.
Courtney is of
we did
Arabic descent.
All right.
I'd never been to an Arabic wedding.
Interesting.
And it was like the most awesome wedding entrance at the reception.
You had a fun time.
Good time.
What happened?
It was just
like a big spectacle.
You said this on TV. You've said it in multiple places.
It really
Can you just
impacted
explain what happened?
It did. Well, because it was totally different. Like, I'd just gone to a wedding last week. And...
Jeez.
I know, 2 weeks in a row. It's crazy. I'm like done with weddings now for a while.
Buy a suit for a wedding.
I've never been to one except my own.
So, what's the normal wedding thing? Like, usually they'll do first dance, like right after.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah,
Like
the
they
announcement
get
of the couple.
introduced at the reception, and everybody, whatever, and then first dance, and then maybe like daddy
daughter, or
dance
like mother
and
son.
mom,
Yeah, sure.
So, well, this was entrance.
All right.
Music, dancing, everybody in the room for, I think they said the traditional first dance goes for 40 minutes.
Did you dance?
No. 40 minutes.
40. You got to do conditioning drills before you go to the wedding?
It's unbelievable. I was like, so you got to pass out.
Kasey, what's your Stuart wedding 40 time?
This,
no, you don't
this
have
Stuart,
one. Okay.
did you see the picture I had of Weber, like up on the chairs?
Yes.
Like they just won the Super Bowl?
Yeah. No, they do that at
Swords are
bar
a part of
mitzvahs
it.
and bat mitzvahs as well. Yeah.
I loved it. It was I thought it was amazing.
I almost got dropped off my chair when I was a kid.
Did you?
Yeah, at my bar mitzvah.
I thought it was, I had never seen that.
If you got one weak link in the chair holders, you're done for. Because once you start to tip.
That's a good point.
Once you start to tip, you're off the chair. You're down. You're falling on somebody.
I was like, I was in awe of the whole thing. I thought it was really cool.
It's fun. It's always fun to go to a big, fun party from a culture you're not necessarily accustomed to. You get to see how other people do it.
It got me interested, actually. Like, I was just, I've never thought about it before, but I haven't been to different cultural weddings.
Was the food American food or ethnic food?
That was American food.
All right, because if it was ethnic food, would you be digging in? Well, like the shawarma and the babka.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like a lot of different stuff.
Okay.
But it did get me thinking of that. Like, how different are weddings, receptions across different cultures?
Yeah.
But this was awesome. So anyway, that's why it was great. By the way, this is September in Jacksonville. It's kind of hot.
Yeah, it is. You were outside?
No, this room was inside.
I'd be giving the sorry can't make it, bro.
How hot? Stuart and his lovely bride, they actually, after that first dance, went to the cooler in the back to cool down.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it.
Refrigerated cooler.
The only saving grace is that you're wearing multiple layers so you're not sweating straight through the suit. Like people can't see how wet you are.
It was awesome, though. So congratulations to them. Football at 5 coming up on ESPN 690.
Back to college, back to the gym, or back-to-back meetings. Cosmic Vibe, Oasis Vibe, Fantasy Vibe, Arctic Vibe, Peach Vibe. Northeast Florida is getting back into the routine with Celsius Essential Energy Drinks.
Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine are paying out over $640,000 this month in poker promotions. There will be exciting high-hand specials and no-limit hold'em tournaments all month. Catch Insta Paydays and game day promos at St. Augustine, $300 early bird specials at Orange Park, $500 Fridays at Jacksonville, and much more. Enjoy the best in poker and card games at Best Bet. For more information, visit bestbetjax.com.
What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. From complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
Discover how good your water can be with the new Kinetico softener and drinking water system. Kinetico's twin tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available. We have one in our home. We absolutely love it. Have had it for over 5 years. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. Right now, you can save up to $1,000 on a Kinetico K5 drinking water system when you purchase a Kinetico Premier softener. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1428211.
Hey, 1-to-1 Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union, is slashing car loan rates to as low as 3.99% for up to 60 months, but for 4 days only, September 6th through the 9th. That's it. That's the deal. 1-to-1 Financial, new or used vehicles. Interest rates as low as 3.99 for up to 60 months. And you have 30 days to find the perfect ride for real. Only at 1-to-1 Financial, September 6th through the 9th. Apply online at 121fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
If you're the victim of a car crash, never rush to settle with the insurance companies and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anna Jar and Levine. Call 1-800-747-FREE for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
Main office, Jacksonville.
Happy kids heal faster. That's why Starlight Children's Foundation is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids by providing comfort and normalcy to those who need it most. Learn how at starlight.org.
Broadcasting live from the Anna Jar and Levine studios. Anna Jar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
This is SportsCenter.
Christine Lisi with what you need to know. Chiefs All-Pro tight end Travis Kelce hyperextended his knee at practice today. His status uncertain for Thursday's season opener versus the Lions. Expectation of Cowboys owner Jerry Jones is for quarterback Dak Prescott to be with the team for a long time. Jones said on 105.3 The Fan, a Prescott contract is always on his mind, and he believes it'll eventually get done. Big things from the Cowboys offense anticipated after some offseason moves, but this season will be a disappointment for Dallas, believes Piscanti, co-host of Unsportsmanlike.
We're going to be saying, how about them Cowboys not being in the playoffs in 2023? That's what it's setting up for. The quarterback has had 35 turnovers in the last 31 games. The quarterback has missed 17 games over the last 3 years. The head coach has had game management issues.
Cowboys open up the season against the Giants Sunday night. Tennis, Novak Djokovic beat Taylor Fritz. Men's quarterfinals, U.S. Open, reached his record 47th Grand Slam semifinal. Coco Gauff defeated Yelena Ostapenko. She's the first American teenager to advance to the women's semis at the U.S. Open since Serena Williams in 2001.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. They're close, convenient, and have the parts you need fast, along with excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
Now, your chance to win $1,000 as ESPN 690 wants to pay your bills. Sponsored by Arlington Toyota with over 800 new and used vehicles available.
Enter the word ROCK at ESPN690.com. That's ROCK by 15 past the hour.
Your next chance to win $1,000 and have ESPN 690 pay your bills happens tomorrow morning at 8. This is a nationwide contest. Message and data rates apply.
ESPN 690 and Action Sports Shacks presents Brent and Friends.
Today is one of the worst days that I've had in a long time.
We're getting a little punchy around here, people. It's been a lot in a row.
I would love to punch you guys.
Ow! It really hit me.
Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau, Aaron Schachter, and Kasey Kurtz. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690.
Yeah, you guys, you talking about Kardashians coming back. You guys were talking about something else earlier. I don't even know what you were talking about.
I was talking about the Kardashians coming back?
He was talking about Krishan Rock having a baby on IG Live.
Oh,
that's what you were talking about. I didn't even know what you were talking about.
That's what Brent was talking about. Well, I don't know too much about the Krishan Rock story that I was telling Kasey about. I just thought it was a funny little addition to a conversation we had a few weeks ago. That this guy, Case, who were we talking about again?
I don't know.
Blueface.
Oh, Blueface, yeah.
This guy Blueface and this lady Krishan Rock had a baby, and then Blueface's mom. These are like pop culture celebrities, I guess.
Blueface is a rapper.
Hip-hop star, yeah.
Krishan Rock is his girl.
Is like a lady that he's with. And then the mom of Blueface goes out and tells everyone that Krishan Rock is Blueface's cousin. And so that's what I found interesting. It's a rough piece of news to get from mom. Especially 9 months later with the baby basically in the hospital.
So really what I was getting at here is how much time do you guys spend watching or reading about like that stuff?
Most of the day.
Nobody's reading about this stuff.
I am reading about
on
it.
On the internet?
I'm reading about it on the internet.
Someone wrote an article about Krishan Rock having a baby on IG Live and it being with her cousin.
That's how I found out about it.
Okay.
Yeah, like it's a TMZ type blog entry.
I didn't know people were writing about it.
I don't care how
I'm
you
not going to
consume it.
foxnews.com to read about it.
I'm asking, like, how often do you consume that kind of, I got to stay
Every day,
up with the
multiple minutes a
pop
day.
culture stuff?
I mean, I watched her have the baby on Instagram. Live. I was there. Blueface was not, by the way.
He hasn't been the same since.
So, yeah, it was. They really should have moved the camera.
Are you saying there's a limit to the amount of time you should spend on this
I'm
stuff?
just curious. I'm asking because I spend none.
Maybe like an
0.
hour plus.
Really?
A good solid number. Yeah.
You do too. Yeah,
Oh,
because
yeah.
you're the one that actually that gets like you probably have to know some level of this.
That's
I don't know
what
if
I
you're
say.
talking about it on 96.9 The Eagle.
Sure.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm talking about
Is that sure?
Blueface.
Did you mention Krishan Rock on the Eagle?
Talking about young hip hop stars.
But you might mention the Kardashians or something. Nope. What did you just say about the Kardashians? They were in
I said someone
Jacksonville?
commented that the Kardashians had a wedding in Jax this weekend, talking about the wedding story.
Was it Stewart's? Did
Don't
you
think
see
they were
the
there.
Kardashians?
Stewart Kardashian.
That'd be wild. Could you imagine?
That'd be
Oh,
something.
by the way.
Yeah.
But Casey's the one that surprised me on this.
Yeah, I
like
don't think
he
he
knew
would
what
have the
you were
appetite
talking
for it
about
either.
earlier, and I was like, "Is he too busy making
I
bets?"
just assume Casey sees all of it on Twitter.
So, no, this is actually how it happens. I'd be sitting there making bets, doing something dumb. And Amanda's like, look at this. Krishan Rock's having a baby on IG. I'm like, what? Let me see that. And that's how I hear about it. So Amanda is seeking out the content, and then she informs me on the content.
I got you.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I just am always fat. This is what our world is full of this stuff. I'm fat. Some people will wonder why we talk sports all the time. Like, I get it. Some people
talking
politics
about
all the time.
Blueface.
But a lot of people live in this world.
Yeah.
You've been
And
keeping
love that world. Like, can you care about somebody else's life that much?
I mean, we kind of do. It's just sports related.
It's
Yeah,
actually
I guess we
exactly
care
the
about
same.
Trevor's.
I mean,
But I
Casey's
care
been
about
daydreaming
Trevor's
about Joe
football
Burrow's
life.
calf for weeks.
I care about his football life. I don't care about where he went to dinner this weekend.
Oh, we talked about Waffle House on the show. Like,
that was a
couple of times.
story. I mean,
Well, it's because that's the only place we knew where he was at when he was there.
Legit. When Doug Peterson was told to wait outside Catullo's like some regular pedestrian, it was talked about all over the
Like, if we knew right now Trevor was at Culver's, we'd be talking about the Culver.
That's fair.
Trevor's there. So, like, it's basically the exact same thing.
Brent, we'll be expecting your handwritten apology in a couple of minutes.
yeah, I mean, I guess you're not wrong.
Yeah, we know.
But, like, it's not like
Scoreboard.
2 or 3 people. Like, how about, well, I don't care about that for Patrick Mahomes or Brady or anybody else, but everybody else does. That's my point.
You didn't see Brady with they found his rental car receipt in the car?
I saw the tweet, yes.
See?
Weird.
I saw that tweet.
See? You saw it. You care.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, I was forced to see it.
You was.
This was on my timeline.
You saw it.
Yeah, maybe you guys are right.
Did you hover a little bit? Did you read it?
Yeah.
Not the article, but maybe the caption?
But you guys do that, and the musicians, and the actresses, and the actors.
We're kept
Depends.
up.
Not all of them.
Are
Depends.
you aware of the Logan Paul situation?
Not a clue.
Aaron?
Which Logan Paul situation?
On Twitter?
I am not.
Are you serious?
Did you
Yeah,
say it on
normally I'm
radio?
all about whatever the Paul brothers are up to.
So Logan Paul is fighting, what's my man's name? Dylan Dennis? You haven't seen any of this?
No.
Guy fights like every 2 days.
Different Pauls. So Dylan Dennis is fighting Logan Paul, and he has decided to look into the I gotta be careful here.
The movie, the spicy movie that isn't allowed to be shown in movie theaters. You talking about that from Logan Paul?
No.
Okay.
Into the background and prior actions of Logan Paul's fiance. And for the last 2 months has posted a picture of Logan Paul's fiance with pretty much every male celebrity that exists trying to get in Logan Paul's head.
These are public pictures, though. Okay.
Correct. How are you unaware of this? This is a wild thing.
I have not. I got to get all up on this.
Yeah, go check it out.
I'm already here.
We'll get back to
You're going to lose me for the rest of the show.
Oh.
Just scroll. He's done this for 2 months straight. Every 5 minutes, he's posting a picture.
Dylan Dennis is a piece of blank. I'll say that. Or watch Logan Paul's girlfriend react. Logan Paul admits Dylan Dennis, top-tier trolling.
Yeah. This is like the biggest thing. It's like the biggest thing on the
I'll
internet.
read up on it.
That is like the biggest thing on the internet?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we should do. Can you guys bring that to us every day?
The internet report?
Internet report. Just so I can feel like I'm at least
Baby
caught
on
up.
IG, live.
I don't need like the
Dylan
I don't
Dance.
want to do like the trending, whatever people like, they do like trending stuff.
Yeah, we can't steal that bit.
The Hollywood hot sheet.
But everybody does that. Like TMZ probably does that.
We
Other
certainly
people
can't
do
call
that.
it trending. Isn't that what they call it?
So you don't want to
Who's
talk
they?
about Joe Jonas filing for divorce?
Oh, that's right. That's big on the internet. He didn't file. Did he file?
He filed, yeah.
Oh, that's
This is
big news.
Exclusive details as of
You
121
get excited
today.
about this. You don't strike me as the guy that would get excited
He's a big
about
Joe
this.
Bros fan, though.
I'm Jonas Brothers, yeah. But originally he had just hired the divorce attorney, had not yet filed. But Aaron's telling you he filed. That's breaking.
This is breaking
big
today.
news. That's big news. I don't want to know that news. I want to know the number one thing trending that I need to know in case I'm in line at the grocery store and somebody brings it up.
Well, if you're in line at the grocery store, then you're with other old people. Maybe you'd want to know Bob Barker's cause of death was revealed.
What was it?
Alzheimer's disease.
Really?
Yes.
At 99 years old.
What a run. What
How
a
about,
run.
by the way, speaking of that, how about Jimmy Buffett passing away? That was a
That's
stunner
pretty wild,
to me,
right?
wasn't it?
76 years old, looking pretty fit, and then to die of skin cancer,
Yeah.
you go, isn't skin cancer kind of one of those slow movers? I guess this was a more aggressive version of skin
Yeah, I think it was a pretty rare form of it.
But like if a guy was ever going to go from something, this dude has been hanging out in the Florida Keys outside for the last 50 years.
Wow, that's true.
You know.
Casey, Jimmy Buffett do anything for you?
I know his tunes.
Yeah, but you're not a Buffett
Nah,
guy.
here's what I know about Jimmy. I'm not.
You don't have to be a parrot head. Like I'm not that.
No,
Yeah, but like if your parents are, I think maybe, but his parents are very far away from parrot head people, I think.
No, my dad's. Well,
Really?
He's not like he's not like go to every concert guy. He listens to it. I know
don't
about the
believe
Jimmy
Chip
Buffett.
is a Buffett guy.
He posted on Facebook. Wow. Yeah, how about that? Dad uses the Book of Face a lot.
All right.
It's a Matt Stafford situation. But I remember Jimmy Buffett from being the teacher in the classic film Hoot. You guys ever seen Hoot?
No, I have not.
Great film. It's got
Oh, you're telling me you've seen Hoot, but not Goodfellas.
love Hoot. Great movie. It's got Brie Larson.
I've seen Hoot,
It's got the
but
kid
not
from Percy
Goodfellas
Jackson.
or Good Will Hunting.
Yep. It's got Jimmy Buffett. May he rest in peace. It's a great film. You guys should watch it. Hoot. It's about owls, burrowing owls, and they try to save them. It's actually really good.
The Jimmy Buffett news hit me a little different. Like I'm
Did
not
it?
usually taken by that stuff.
See, now
And-
what about the Smash Mouth guy? Did that hit you at all?
No, not at all.
Oh, that happened.
Because that's more your age realm than
but,
Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah, I heard about that, and
You've
but
just
I
got
did-
an old soul, I think.
Well, I saw Jimmy
just
Buffett in concert here in Jacksonville.
Yep.
And you know what hit me about Buffett? I'm not like saying I'm like the biggest Jimmy Buffett fan or whatever else, but obviously everybody knows his music, and I would think I listen to a decent amount of it, more probably in collaboration with a lot of the country stars. He does a lot of country star collaborations. But it feels like a guy like Buffett who makes the style of music, right, that makes people usually feel good, right? Chilling out at the beach, all that kind of
it's good
stuff.
vibe music.
It's like it just is the farthest thing away from death.
Very much so.
You know, and so it's a
You know
weird
what?
juxtaposition
It's
in my
actually
mind.
so far away from it, it almost touches it again in some kind of weird circle of life where the Jimmy Buffett thing is all about chilling out, relaxing on the beach, going to sleep in front of the ocean versus like the party lifestyle. That's not what Jimmy Buffett is about. So when I think death, I think the opposite of death being an exciting life. I don't think Jimmy Buffett, but at the same time, you're right. It was very far away from doom and gloom so much, I think, is what it was.
Yeah, and by the way, he's also, because of that style, he also always feels young to me.
Yeah, that's the TU thing, I think.
It's not like he's 76 years old, by the way. He's pretty young
To me,
still.
Oh, that's a good
Buffett has
run.
felt like an old man since I was a young man.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel that way. I did tweet this. I think the cool part about it is it transcends generations. I think people who transcend generations musically or whatever else is always pretty cool.
Movies
It's a
with
neat
Hoot,
thing.
of course.
Movies with Hoot, yeah. But
I bet your kids have seen Hoot.
I'll give you. You know the guy that I think of when I think of transcending generations. Like, I think if you're early 20s, you watch this show, you love him. If you're My age, if you're in your 70s or 80s, you probably love him. It's Corso on game day. Like I think he's one of those guys that just like everybody loves him.
Yeah. He's
kind
of had a second coming with the game day show with the big heads and all
not
that stuff.
like that is it. Like before that, I mean, you had to really be dialed into football to know who he is. But because of the picks and the everything else, and he's almost like everybody's grandfather.
Yeah. And then the guy from Smash Mouth who passed away, that was actually a long time coming. He was like dying of alcohol poisoning over the past couple of years.
Really? I didn't know that.
He had like fallen into this terrible alcoholism, and his band members ended up kicking him out of the band because he couldn't keep it together. He was cursing people out on stage. There was actually a pretty famous video of that a couple of years ago at some festival where he threatened to go to some fan's house and beat him up. It was some lady in the front row.
Not as good.
And then the next day they kicked him out of the band. But that guy was young, 56 years old. Talk about slow suicide at that point. Alcohol poisoning.
That's no good. All right, let's lift this thing back up. Maybe we need some Jimmy Buffett music in here. Brent Martin, Aaron Schachter, Kasey Kurtz. Let's talk some football. And we do have the opening week of the NFL season. Jags-Indy, of course, the big one. 5-point favorite for the Jags. Getting a lot of love around the country. Trevor Lawrence getting a lot of love. Doug Peterson. And well-earned. And now we get to see, can the Jags live up to it? The Jags have to now do their part. I don't think this is a team that's going to disappoint. What I don't know about this football team is how much will they meet expectation?
And expectations are extremely high for this team. We talked about the Ringer with their prediction that Trevor is going to win the MVP. You have countless outlets talking about the Jaguars, no doubt about it, going to win the AFC South. How high a playoff seed will they be? I'll show you a tweet from Sunday Night Football on NBC quoting Peter King's AFC playoff seed predictions. He's got the Jaguars at number 1, tied with the Chiefs, who are the number 2 seed. Like, you haven't seen expectations in Jacksonville like this in a long time.
I'll tell you what he said there, too. The top seed in the AFC would be so big. And he didn't have them going to the Super Bowl, I think, in that article. I think he had the Bills instead.
Yeah, the Bills, yeah.
Which was interesting. But, I mean, you think about it, play that out. If the Jags were to get the top seed, in part, they're probably winning 2 out of the 3 games against the Bills, the Bengals, the Chiefs, the way this sets up and looks. And obviously, they're probably winning like 13 games.
Yeah. I think Peter King had him at
13-4?
13, yeah.
I think you got to get to 13-4 to probably even be in the conversation. Some teams could be easily 14-3. Although the AFC is so loaded, it might be tough. Like the AFC East is going to beat each other up. You think the AFC North is going to beat each other up. And I think that's why people see this as a possibility for the Jags. The AFC South might not beat each other up. The Jags might run the South, maybe not run the table. I think that's a hard thing to do. But if they go 5-1, anybody else in any of those divisions going 5-1?
Yeah,
maybe
I doubt
the
it.
Chiefs?
I doubt
because
it. Not in the North, not in
but,
the East, maybe the West, but I doubt it.
Maybe. But there's friction with the Chargers. I mean, the Raiders and Broncos, I think, are going to be capable. They're not doormats. So, yeah, I think that's why he has them there. I think it makes a lot of sense. And if they were able to do that, what a difference. Because you don't have to play that first one. And now you got them at home.
Yeah, throughout.
And that would be something. I don't expect that, if I'm being honest. You shouldn't. I don't expect the Jags to have the best record in the AFC. I'm not there yet.
There is a road that's not impossible. I think it's more possible for that to happen than 4-13.
Oh gosh, yeah. Yes, and that's what I guess my point. I don't believe the Jags, with what they have, barring just catastrophic injury, have 4-13, 5-12,
short of losing Trevor Lawrence for the year.
Yeah, like I don't know what the floor is, but the floor certainly seems like it's.
I say 9 wins is the floor.
I feel like the floor is above 500, which would get 9-8. I guess to cover myself, I would probably say, well, yeah, things went wrong and it's 8-9. I mean, if you wanted to go down to 7, I mean, something they would have to be hit by the injury bug pretty good, and maybe not even Trevor, but pretty big in line or receivers or whatever else. But I guess I would never take anything under 7 right now. I mean, the Jags feel like they are just a
huge,
good football
massive
team.
Disappointment.
Because here's the deal. This is how we talk about the Jags. We talk about them in the same respect as we do talk about the Bills or the Jets right now or a team like the Ravens right now. Maybe not in the same respect as the Chiefs because the Chiefs are Super Bowl champs and they're kind of the perennial team. But if you go to the NFC, you talk about them in the same respect as like the Dallas Cowboys. Nobody sees Dallas just winning like 6 games. San Francisco, Jags could be in that same breath. Why not?
They are, and
Right?
everybody, and on all the national analyst lists.
So I think, like, I don't want to say they are disaster-proof, but it kind of feels like they are.
Brent, you're putting the jinx on it right
They
now.
were 3-1 in 2018, but again, what the caveat here is what people don't want to consider in 2018 because they just remember it going sideways and they remember it was Bortles and Marone and this and that. It was the injuries. Like they had a massive amount of injuries in 2018. So I can see why the expectations are here. I have no problem with the expectations. I just wonder how much they meet the loftiest of expectations. Because I think the Jags can still have a very good year, keep it building, and not necessarily be the number 1 seed, win the AFC Championship, go to the Super Bowl. Do they have the capability? Yes. But we all know sports doesn't work out like that.
Almost never.
The Jags should be in the conversation. They have a good enough team to put themselves in the conversation, get to the dance, see what happens. But I also don't believe that if they don't go to the Super Bowl this year was a failure. I'm not there yet with this football team. I don't think we're there yet as a franchise for the Jags. There are a few that are like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even sure Cincinnati, even with their success, is in that boat yet.
You do, though, have to consider for the Jaguars that this may be the peak of the window.
Yeah.
Counting how many people might be out the door after the year.
It feels that way, right? I get what you're saying. That's a great way to phrase it. But I hesitate to come all the way with you there on that statement because Trevor's only going to get better, we believe.
Sure. And more expensive.
And you just gave me a stat that said they're the 4th best team according to this in terms of youngest players.
You're right.
So they have a core that can still grow a bunch. Now, will they have this dynamic offense and all the receivers and everyone else? I think that's what you're speaking to. But if you have Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence and you have a young core of players that you think are good, I'm not sure I'm ready to say this will be the best team they'll have in the next 3 years.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, too. I agree with you and your point. But to my original
like the Jets,
point,
you might say that.
Yeah,
because Aaron Rodgers is 40.
Yes, because you have a very finite window with Aaron Rodgers' career. It's either this year or next, and you're out. With Trevor Lawrence under center, you could have multiple windows over the next 10 to 15 years. It just feels like this specific window, focusing on Calvin Ridley, Christian Kirk, Travis Etienne, Evan Ingram as your main offensive components with Trevor, you have a possible situation at the end of the season where your wide receiver room gets completely remade. Now, chances are it's not going to happen, and something else will happen instead. But it's possible. I mean, you locked Evan Ingram up for another couple of years, and Travis Etienne on a rookie deal, and Trevor on a rookie deal. But there are a lot of question marks. So
I fully understand what you're
team,
saying.
Yeah,
it makes some sense because again, you get the money alone.
Yeah,
everybody knows what the money on the other side looks like. You're not going to have as many players because you're going to have to get rid of some of the proven good players to make room for maybe 2, 3, 4 contracts that are going to be big. Kasey, answer this question for us because I like the question from Aaron. Is this the best window to win it all that the Jags will have in the next 3 years?
Yeah. I think so. The AFC South only gets better.
Well, that's another good point.
That's another good point.
They could get better. They could also be a disaster for the next 6 years.
No, because there's a chance somebody's getting Caleb Williams. I know they all just drafted quarterbacks, but it doesn't mean that they wouldn't pick him if they had the opportunity.
Let's get South Beach Gary on the line. He checks in on a Tuesday. Brent Friends on ESPN 690 Football at 5. What's up, man?
Oh, just my Orioles keep rolling along. That's win number 86 last night.
Yeah, it's impressive. Are they built for the postseason is going to be the question.
How about this stat, guys? 84 consecutive series without being swept. You talk about an impressive series.
That's impressive coaching.
Impressive statistic. That's impressive.
That is. It's a good one.
It's the 3rd longest in all time, Brad, in MLB.
Now, that surprises me.
They just passed the Yankees yesterday, the 22-23 Yankees.
Who hasn't passed the Yankees?
No, this is the 22-23. This is the Babe Ruth Yankees, not the Aaron Judge Yankees.
All right, South Beach Gary, the Dolphins.
But you guys may have caught a break with the Kelsey hyperextension today. What about my Dolphins being able to roll? I already mixed all these teams, Brad. What about my Miami Dolphins?
Yeah, I like the Dolphins a lot. I think there's a reason to like the Dolphins more than Aaron probably does.
And are you concerned about the pass rush with the Jags, especially with Hamilton out the first month? If Allen doesn't step up and have a huge year, it could be problems.
Yeah, I just don't think. Thanks, South Beach Gary. Appreciate it. I believe the Jags are going to play from ahead, and I think that's going to help their pass rush. I don't care about the number of players, where the sacks are coming from. I think they will create them. I think it's the style of this defense to begin with, and there's so much confidence in the offense, and I think that will help the defense out. I think the same could be said about the Dolphins. The same has been said about Kansas City. It's proven up like that. You don't need the defense to dictate play for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like, that's a big difference. That is the major difference, in my opinion, about this football team. And when you're up by 10 points against the Colts in the third quarter, well, that gives a chance for the defense to eat instead of being tied and they have to force the issue with a big strip sack fumble. Are they going to be the ones to force the issue? I don't have all the confidence in that. Are they going to be the ones that can eat when you're up by 10? I think they proved a lot last year that they can be that team. The Orioles, it's been impressive they've held off your Rays this entire time. It's been like at 2 games forever, hasn't it?
Not really. I mean,
Rays lost a few important
you see
players
what
along
happened
the
to the
way.
Rays?
Well, listen,
a lot of stuff has happened to the Rays.
The Rays have played very well
along the way.
since Wander left.
Okay.
They had McClanahan.
Their best arm had Tommy John, and their best hitter is never coming back.
This isn't an A's story. This is more, a Rays story. This is more of a Baltimore story. I mean, the Rays have won a lot of games.
They did.
They're like over, 30-plus games over 500.
And they will lose in the first round of the playoffs.
And the Orioles are holding them off. It's pretty impressive. I do have an Ohtani question for you specifically. We'll talk some more football, get some X's when we come back on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Mostly clear and nice tonight. Temperatures dropping into the 60s inland to the 70s at the beaches. Partly sunny, a little bit hotter for your Wednesday. Highs tomorrow between 90 and 95. For the CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jack's First Alert Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Before you buy a diamond anywhere, shop and compare and save thousands at Beards Diamonds.
Discover how good your water can be with the new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's Twin Tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available. We have one in our home. We absolutely love it. Have had it for over 5 years. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. Right now, you can save up to $1,000 on a Connecticut K5 drinking water system when you purchase a Connecticut Premier Softener. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1428211.
Be ready for anything on the road or off the road this summer at Nimnick Buick GMC. Car Bravo is here, a better way to shop used vehicles with transparent pricing. Nimnick Buick GMC has joined the Car Bravo family and is the only Car Bravo dealer in Northeast Florida. Are you looking for a used car under $20,000? Check out Nimnick Buick GMC on Phillips Highway or NimnickBuickGMC.com. Want an oil change from the comfort of your living room? Check out NimnickBuickGMC.com. Mobile oil changes with Nimnick GMC. We are professional grade.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Multi-unit hair grafting is now available at IHRS and can give you 3 times more hair in one procedure over a traditional hair transplant.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
You can grow your hair back with this exclusive new procedure. Call now for your free evaluation and see if multi-unit hair grafting or PRP can restore your hair. Call 904-777-IHRS.
My bald spots are gone. Thanks, IHRS.
IHRS is the only clinic in the Southeast to offer all proven solutions to restore your hair and is now offering multi-unit hair grafting. One procedure, more hair.
You've got nothing to lose but more hair. I feel younger
younger, I look younger, and who doesn't want to feel better about themselves?
This year, grow your hair back. Call for a free evaluation. Call IHRS 904-777-IHRS 777-4477.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Minimum purchase required. Interest accrues from date of purchase but is waived if paid within promotional period. Go to windowappointmentnow.com for full offer details. Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? Fog between the glass? Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen. And right now you can save $375 off every window and $750 off every door. Just text FOG to 200-300 for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for $0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Text FOG to 200-300 right now to save $375 off every window and $750 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings won't last long. Text FOG to 200-300. Don't wait. Text the word FOG to 200-300. Text FOG to 200-300.
Did you know the #1 killer of men and women in the U.S. is heart disease? Hey, it's Matt Ray. Join me in Easy 102.9 for the First Coast Heart Walk on September 9th at the Jacksonville Fairgrounds and walk to save lives. Register now at firstcoastheartwalk.org.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text BEAT to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text BEAT to 42424. That's BEAT to 42424.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
Stay with ESPN 690 for your chance to see and hear our special events in the Farah and Farah Performance Studio throughout 2023. Powered by Farah and Farah and ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Football 5 rolls on here on a Tuesday. It's a game week for the Jacksonville Jaguars. The NFL season underway on Thursday night. The Lions and the Chiefs. So we are doing picks.
Definitely
that
doing
will
picks.
Never be paid off.
I don't know.
All right.
We can do picks.
Good.
Definitely doing picks.
All right. We'll do the picks.
We'll do the picks.
Nice.
At some point.
Probably after they play.
The winner each week gets a pack of unopened Prism NFL cards.
Very good.
You sure about that?
Nope. You got to talk to
You can
Davoli.
bring them in at Davoli's House of Cards. You're there every day.
Yeah, I
Pay for it with your
Go to that
boatloads of
TikTok
cash.
shop.
Nice. I don't know if you guys heard about Panini, but everything went up in price.
Did it?
What's the Panini
Wait,
deal? Is there a shortage or something?
Panini sold, right?
No, the NFLPA pulled Panini 3 years earlier than expected.
That's what happened.
So
yeah.
Panini can't print any more NFL products, which means all the ones that are printed are shot up in value.
What's the beef?
Fanatics was buying it anyway, just down the line in a couple years, and they kind of forced their hand. Yeah.
So this would be a little bit like Oklahoma and Texas going to the SEC early.
Yeah, actually, because then they were like, all right, we don't care what happens to the Big 12.
Yeah.
Yep. It's exactly what happened.
But Fanatics is like, they just like own everything.
They're trying.
They're working on it. Yeah.
They seem to be in everything. Like it's amazing how like the different tentacles of these businesses.
You know, a lot of business experts, they'll tell you, they'll be like, you don't got to be the best everything if you're just the greatest one thing.
I know, but I think it's just part of the scale of business, right?
Right, especially when you get big enough, you turn into an Amazon. You got to be everything to everybody.
Fanatics started right here in Jacksonville.
It's pretty impressive.
Believe it or not.
That's what they be saying.
That's what they be saying. Brent Martin, Aaron Schachter, Kasey Kurtz, take us to X-Land.
Sure. We were just talking about Trevor Lawrence and the expectations on Trev and the Jaguars. Well, First stop for them is in Indianapolis. That's happening this weekend. NFL Week 1 is here. Case, you don't like my pregnant pause?
No, man, it was just pausing for the dramatic we've been talking about since May.
Yes.
It's in
It's just in. We just revealed this.
Well, first tweet comes to us from NFL Rumors. We talked a little bit about Shaq Leonard earlier. He's in concussion protocol. He's trending to miss Week 1. So, Brent and Kasey, what is the bigger hole in the Colts roster right now? No Shaq Leonard or no Jonathan Taylor? Which one benefits the Jags more?
I mean, I think it's got to be Taylor. I think it's got to be. Because you don't have any – right now, I don't think they trust enough to lean on in a Shane Steichen offense that's going to be built around pounding the rock a little bit and helping out Anthony Richardson, and they can't do it.
Weren't you just here telling me Saquon Barkley's worth $1.5 million a year? What's happening? You were telling me running backs are a dime a dozen.
Yeah, but I think in this instance, they're on their third running back, and I don't know anything about those guys.
Yeah, no,
and Jonathan Taylor's,
about
in this situation, is he as important in week 10 or week 6 or week 12, whatever? Maybe not. But in this one, I think, given those two guys, by the way, they kind of know what life without Shaq Leonard is anyway.
From last season,
Yeah.
You'd say the same about JT?
Yeah, it didn't work out too well.
Nope, neither one of them.
Kasey, got to be Jonathan Taylor.
Who's the bigger loss?
Yeah.
Well, who does it benefit? Well, which missing guy benefits Jacksonville more?
Jonathan Taylor now that Devon Hamilton's out.
Okay. Speaking of Jonathan Taylor, then, let's go to the rumor mill once again, because apparently the Packers and the Dolphins were reportedly willing to make Jonathan Taylor one of the highest paid running backs in the NFL. Rightfully so at 24 years old, by the way. But there was substantial trade on the table as well. Now, we did hear that the Colts were looking for Jalen Waddle in return from the Dolphins.
Yeah, they were looking for a lot.
They were looking for a lot. So maybe that's what held it up. But you got to imagine there was a bunch of first-round picks up for grabs in these trades.
Don't the Packers got 2 running backs already?
They have
good?
a tremendous running game. But one of them is getting old.
Huh. All right.
He is getting old.
Aaron Jones is old? Really?
I feel like he's been around forever.
Okay.
You were going to say
Yeah.
I think Jones is older, isn't he?
Are they both in their late 20s?
Aaron Jones is 28.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan's got to be.
A.J. Dillon is 25, yeah.
Okay. 28 isn't that old, but I guess in running back years it can be. But substantial.
Weird.
I guess my question is Jonathan Taylor ever going to get traded? If they're not going to take these first-round picks and no one's given up Jalen Waddle or Christian Watson or Romeo Doubs for him, then, is it ever going to happen?
I don't think it is. I don't think it is. Which begs the other question is, will the Jags even face Jonathan Taylor at all this year?
Or ever again?
Because will he be back by week, what would that be, 6?
Well,
coming back from London?
I guess.
Pup is week 4.
Is 4.
So, I mean, it would be week 5. But is he even going to be playing, or are they going to be still at a standstill? Like, do we even know if he's going to play if he's healthy?
We don't, because we don't know if he's on the pup for the ankle in real life. We heard the ankle was fine until suddenly he had a mysterious back problem, according to the Colts. And then JT goes on Twitter and Instagram. He's like, nope, they're lying. And they're like, kidding, it's not the back, it's his ankle still. He left the team to go talk to a doctor about his ankle.
In IRL.
In IRL. Well,
IRL.
IRL.
I added another in. Brent, you familiar with IRL?
Indy Racing League?
Yes. He's got it.
Where does any come into
Independent Indianapolis. Which one? Which one are we going?
Yes.
The IRL.
Well, JT is a hold-in, right? He's not a holdout.
Yeah, you like hold-ins.
He's there. I don't like him. I'm just saying there are 2 major ones happening.
Brent's a big holdout guy himself.
One is Jonathan Taylor. The other hold-in that's happening is Brian Burns over at the Panthers. And that situation continues to develop. There is no end in sight. Frank Reich is starting to sound less and less sure of what's happening. This is from Ari Miriov. He says, developing situation, Panthers star pass rusher Brian Burns did not participate at the walkthroughs today. Head coach Frank Reich decided to provide details whether his absence is related to his contract. Here's Reich's quote, do I hope he's there versus Atlanta? Absolutely. But if he's not there, I'm not worried about it. Just move forward. Reich said he doesn't know if Burns will play on Sunday without a new contract. The answer, guys, is probably not. So here's a guy thought of as one of the best young edge rushers in the game. The team was offered multiple firsts from the Rams last year. as they attempted to rebuild that defense around Aaron Donald. The Panthers did not come off this guy. Too important to them. They traded their best wide receiver. They did not trade Brian Burns. My question for you, what's the outcome here? And does it matter to the Panthers? Here's a team in rebuild this year. You got Bryce Young on the offense, so Brian Burns doesn't necessarily hurt Bryce Young's development, except for the fact that it's going to be harder to defend other teams without him out there. But how important is this?
I think it's a big deal. I mean, Brian Burns is a very good player. Very, very good. He's been a sneaky good draft pick that people don't talk about. Developed into a heck of a pass rusher. Someone that they obviously wanted to keep, to your point. And now you don't know where it's at in the status. Now, I think he's probably more inclined to get signed than a Chris Jones or a Bosa sooner than later. So we'll see. Maybe if he doesn't
Just
like
because his
missing
number
games.
would be lower?
Yeah, I think so. I think a little. He hadn't made as much as those guys have made in the NFL, I don't believe.
Right.
So I'd be surprised if he doesn't play soon. But, yeah, it's a big deal. Yeah, I was thinking of this as you're bringing this up, and we know what's going on with Bosa. We know what's going on with Jonathan Taylor. We know what's going on with Chris Jones. And, you name it. How many organizations really around the NFL where there's really not any drama at the start of the season? The Jags are certainly one. I mean, there's really no drama right here in Jacksonville off the field or contractually or everything's kumbaya, right? And maybe it's like that in a lot of different places. But it seems like there's not like that in a lot of different places too, which I do think sidetracks, makes the feeling of the organization. Like what Carolina has to be a little careful of here, and I don't know how much this makes a difference anymore because I feel like teams like San Francisco and Kansas City have done this, and it's not working out in their favor right now in their current situations, and that is do business the right way. For a long time, Jacksonville had to worry about that, whether it was setting the tone way back, in the Bradley Caldwell era when Shad Khan bought the team, or on the heels of what happened with Ramsey and Jan and everything else to try to rectify the situation and make it look more appealing, and the NFLPA stuff and all of that. And now the Jags are in a place where, look, people want to come here. Well, it was a big conversation last year with Doug Peterson, right? At the end of last year, people want to come here in free agency, and Trevor can actually be like the Pied Piper in that sense, and Calvin Ridley essentially chose to be traded here over other teams. Like, that's real life now in Jacksonville. I think Carolina's going to be a little bit careful of that because it's new ownership, it's new coach, it's new quarterback, it's the rebuild part, and so how they handle that internally will have a lot of eyes on it. But also externally, maybe when it does come to free agency time, could play a little bit of a factor. Now, I'm always a big believer that money talks the most in free agency, but I think people have their eyes on these kind of situations and how the organizations handle them. Like I just said, though, I feel like San Francisco's been a pretty good organization in this context.
Yeah, they paid their best players in the past.
Yet Bosa, Debo, right? Now, that carried on a little bit longer maybe than Debo wanted to. But here Bosa is anyway, saying, I need more, I want more. Kansas City's been pretty good about signing their guys from Kelsey to Mahomes to others. And now here comes Chris Jones saying, I'm not getting enough. So maybe it's just unavoidable is my point at some level. Like next year, will the Jags have some of this going on? Because they will have a lot of players potentially that want to get paid, and you can't pay them all.
Yeah, I'm all about the players doing this because the owners put them in this position.
Yeah.
The owners are sitting there playing with these franchise tag games all the time with these guys, double tagging some of these guys. It's like, this is the only leverage they've got left. I'm about to miss real games for you. You got to come to the table with your checkbook.
It is, but I say this, guys, I'm not really sure how much a real leverage it is.
I mean, I feel like Nick Bosa is going to get what he wants.
We'll see. I think good business and how we want to take care of a player and our relationship usually wins out. The bottom line is if we're comparing players versus owners, the owner is going to get his cash no matter what. Right? Win, lose, whatever. Better to win, but they're still going to make money.
Sure.
The hard thing for Bosa is I don't care how much money he's made, he's still giving up $1.5 million a game.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money.
For a principled person, though.
That's fine. How long are you willing to go? How long? Are you willing to give up $6 million? This is a career that you only have certain
I don't think any of these
amount.
guys are looking to sit out the season. It almost never works out well for people. But to put the exclamation point on how important you are, if you're Bosa and you're sitting out 4-6 games and your team goes 1-5, 2-4, and that's a Super Bowl contention team, you go, all right, this is all I need to see here. And by the way, Emmitt Smith did this to the Cowboys. Emmitt Smith held out for like 2 games. I think it was 95. He ends up getting a big deal, which back then was like $2 million or whatever it was. But they end up making a Super Bowl run. This dude plays hurt, and they still win the Super Bowl. So, like, that's the example that works. Then you look at Le'Veon Bell, sits out the whole season. It was never the same for him.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating to keep an eye on. But I would say this, in San Francisco and in Kansas City, I don't believe those two players sitting out are the most important facets of their football season. Patrick Mahomes is the most important part of Kansas City. He can do it without Tyreek Hill. He can do it with a defense that was giving up 35 points a game, it felt like early in his career. And in San Francisco, whether Nick Bosa's there or not, the biggest curiosity is how well the quarterback position will be played.
As far as curiosity goes.
And the biggest, whether they're a factor or not, is how good the quarterback position is.
I think it's fair to say, but if the defense doesn't come to play, that team's going to have issues.
Yeah, and listen, he's a terrific. I'm not telling you he doesn't help.
He's the best defensive player in football.
But how much Chris Jones and how many games is Nick Bosa and Chris Jones are worth? Win-loss column.
Well, look, I don't know, to be honest with you.
I would say more with Bosa than Jones.
Sure. Bosa certainly seems like more of a factor in those games. You hear his name more often. Neither one of them compared to what their quarterbacks would do.
Yeah.
But the reality is, you wouldn't be negotiating $30 million a year with this guy if he wasn't the second most important person on your team.
Kasey, if Chris Jones doesn't play this year, do you still think Kansas City is one of the favorites to go to the Super Bowl?
That's two huge defensive pieces gone from that Super Bowl team.
But they're still going to be in the conversation.
Okay.
I think he's great, though.
Yeah, I think he's tremendous.
You tell me Kelsey's going to miss 4 games, I'll pull him out.
Yeah. That's my point. That's leverage.
That is leverage.
That's leverage for the organization. Because I think a lot of people would answer it saying, yeah, you want him there, but it doesn't change necessarily the trajectory of your season.
So let me ask you this. If he sits out 4 games, they go 1-3 in those 4 games, they end up 11-6, and they're not a home field throughout seed. Did it work? I guess it depends on the money he gets.
And it depends if they win in the playoffs.
If they don't go to the Super Bowl this year.
Did it work for who?
Is it on Chris Jones?
Yeah, I would say then.
Him or the players after him.
In your scenario, yeah.
Yeah.
Then
Chris Jones won. He hurt the team.
Yeah.
But he won. Scoreboard.
We'll be back. Brent and Friends on ESPN 690.
Brent and Friends is sponsored by Best Bet. Now open in St. Augustine.
ESPN 690 wants to pay your bills. We'll have 5 chances every weekday to win $1,000. All you have to do is enter the correct keyword at ESPN690.com to be eligible to win. This is a nationwide contest. Message and data rates apply. ESPN 690 pays your bills. Sponsored by Arlington Toyota with over 800 new and used vehicles available. Weekdays at 8 a.m., 10 a.m., noon, 2 and 5 p.m. Tune in to win from ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
There are not many things that can actually change your life. Well, I'm not exaggerating when I say this. QC Kinetics can change your life. You can live again without that chronic joint pain and without drugs or surgery. Hey, everybody, it's Brent Martineau. QC Kinetics is advanced regenerative medicine. They take your body's own concentrated healing properties, put them right into your joint to restore and repair that damaged tissue, that tissue that's causing all of that horrible pain. The patient satisfaction reports are amazing. Finally, a real alternative to the old ways of dealing with pain. And unlike surgery, there's no downtime with QC treatments. If you have constant pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, or back, you need to call and get a free consultation, 904-274-5522. A free consultation from the medical professionals at QC Kinetics today, 904-274-5522. Imagine this, moving around pain-free, doing the things you love again, walking, hiking, playing with the grandkids. Do it all with QC Kinetics and see how the latest advances in precision regenerative medicine can attack your pain and bring you lasting relief. 904-274-5522.
Firefighters, paramedics, police officers. They take care of us, and at AMCO, we're proud to take care of them. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles. As an essential business, we work on every kind of car repair with flexible financing and extra safety precautions. Essential, reliable, trusted. That's the men and women who are there for us, and it's our honor to be there for them. AA MCO.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
Frank, you got to come see my new windows from American Window Products. They're beautiful and they keep the house so cool.
Oh, slow down, Jim.
No, Frank. American Window Products is having a sale right now, and you said you wanted a locally owned business with qualified products and professional installers. Well, American Window Products has all that and more.
More?
Yes, selection and great prices at American Window Products.
Whoa, what's that number?
731-2247, a family-owned business since 1981. Check them out at AmericanWindowProducts.com. Call them, Frank.
I'm calling American Window Products right now, Jim.
Best Bet is #1. That's right. Best Bet Jacksonville and Orange Park have one-card poker, the fastest and easiest card game to learn and play. Play against a designated player, one card at a time, and the highest card wins even money. If the card values are the same, it's time for war. Just like the game you remember. You must be 18 years or older to play. More at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Hi, this is Dave Barker with IHRS. If you're looking for a real solution to your thinning hair or hair loss, call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS.
Find out what's causing your hair to fall out. Can your hair grow back? What procedures or products will work? Get to the root of your problem with IHRS's Hair and Scalp Analysis. This analysis magnifies your hair and scalp 400 times to see what procedures can restore your hair. Stop wasting money on solutions that don't work. IHRS has been restoring hair for men and women for over 30 years. They're the only clinic to offer the trademark multi-unit hair grafting, PRP platelet-rich plasma, and the NeoGraft FUE hair transplant procedure. Real solutions, real results.
Schedule your free hair and scalp analysis today. Call 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Or visit hair4me.com. Hairforme.com.
Hey y'all, this is Ronte, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich is the pimento cheese. I was like, go cheese, go pimento, go honey, go get it.
Hi, this is Chantrice, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich is the mild spiciness of the pickled jalapenos. No, it's the crispy chicken. Actually, I can't decide. It's the entire sandwich.
Order the Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Available for a limited time. Real Chick-fil-A guests paid for their testimonials.
So you just used bug spray in your home. Now what? Well, between the waiting for things to dry up and keeping your family away from the mess, it hits you. You could have used Zevo. Unlike other bug sprays that stick around, Zevo goes from kill to clean in seconds. Plus, it's safe for use around people and pets when used as directed. Zevo, people-friendly, bug-deadly.
This is Brent and Friends with Brent Martineau.
You don't even like your quarterback.
Kasey Kurtz.
You don't even like your team.
And Aaron Schachter.
I don't even like myself, guys. Do you know me?
On Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. ESPN 690.
So Shohei Ohtani has to have some kind of procedure with the arm. We're not sure exactly what yet. I don't think. Tommy John again.
Is it not Tommy John?
It's not confirmed.
Yeah, not confirmed Tommy John, which would be a second time. So if he has a procedure of any kind, Kasey, how much is this hurting his $600 million potential contract?
He's got to chop like 30 a year off of it, right?
No.
What?
Well, I mean, there's two different ways to look at it. One, he's going to come back. So he could sign a one-year deal, stay in Anaheim or do whatever he so chooses, rehab, and then get the bag next 2 off seasons from now.
You don't think he would get it this offseason, even recovering from Tommy John?
No, I think that's the other part of it. Someone, although it may not be his favorite destination, will pay, no matter what the injury is.
Yeah, I think they'd all vie for it, no matter what.
It's a tricky spot, though, for somebody who is paying.
Yeah.
Well, it is, because next year there's a really good chance you don't see him do the thing that you're really signing him to do, which is hit and pitch. You're not going to see him pitch.
Okay, well, we'll see you in 25 when he's pitching.
Well, that's fine, but Kasey,
when
go
you're
ahead,
down on the
go
contract.
ahead and buy a car right now for like the most expensive car you've ever bought, and say you can't drive it for a year.
I actually could relate to that. When I bought my really cheap car outside, I had to wait a month and a half because it was that microchip shortage.
Oh, yeah.
And even that was unbearable. I can't imagine not seeing Shohei Ohtani for a year.
But none of us are millionaires, let alone billionaires.
And about to make the biggest purchase outside of the team that they've ever made.
It doesn't. They're going to make half of it back in jersey sales the minute they sign him.
I mean, you're being silly.
Listen, I'm not questioning your logic of it. I just think it's a hard one to swallow while you're writing the check.
Now, when they see boxes and boxes of jerseys and T-shirts just being sold.
Also, I realize a lot of people come back from Tommy John, and it's fine, but not everybody. Like, you don't know the picture you're getting on the other side of this.
Well, the one they got after the first Tommy John was like the best in the sport. So the one they're getting after the second one might be even better.
You think it's a Rookie of the Year situation?
Potentially.
Henry Rowan-Gardner out here.
I know about Rowan-Gardner.
All right, so we have no idea where the contract would have landed, but definitely over $500 million, we believe, and maybe upwards of $600. Fair enough?
Like Brent
Is that what people were saying?
Sure.
Yes.
It's not going to be as high as it would have been without this. Right? He's got to take a hit.
That's a shame.
Right? He's got it.
Because you wanted, well, for him, yes. But you want to see the record break. You want to see the biggest thing ever.
It still will be record-breaking, just not as record-breaking.
What I wonder is, could it potentially have escalators in there
innings pitched
as we see him come back from Tommy John, right? And stay healthy. Because the bottom line now, you have 2 Tommy Johns. That's significant.
Yeah.
Now you wonder about his durability long term.
Dude, like my bad. All my ligaments are torn, but I'm still hitting homers.
You know speaking of baseball, the Acuna stuff, I think we talked about a little bit on Friday. Mm-hmm. I don't understand, are they teaching something different in Atlanta? Or are they just better? It's not just Acuna. If you look at exit velos,
everybody thinks they're cheating.
But how? I'm not telling. I don't want to be accusatory.
It does sound like they're cheating now.
How does that not run through your mind when they have all the metrics higher than everybody else?
And it's not close. It's like night and day.
It's nuts how different it is.
So we're all in agreement. Atlanta's cheating.
But how? What are they doing? They're rolling bats. I mean.
I think they know what's coming.
Check the garbage cans.
It's an Astros situation.
But see, I don't even know if it's that. It doesn't make sense that it's that. That doesn't equate exit velo.
Well, they're still – now, here's the thing. They're still great. They have a goated roster. So if they knew what was coming, if Acuna knew what was coming, I don't think he's going to get out very often.
You have Judge and Ohtani and all these guys that are just monsters and talented and rifle shots. Stanton. These guys have better exit velocity than – all of them. It's all living in Atlanta.
It's wild.
Is it the heat? It does feel like something, but I just don't know what. I don't believe it would be like the pitches. I believe it's got to be something different.
What could it be besides the pitches?
I really don't know. I have no idea. I don't even know how to cheat. I don't know how you would.
Or them boys are just really good.
They got those hollowed out bats with the newspaper stuffed in them like we used to do.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a Sammy Sosa situation.
You can roll the bats. Maybe they got them doing something like that. Maybe. I have no idea. It's going to do it for a Tuesday. Jags back in the building tomorrow. Obviously, we keep building toward Jags and Indy on Sunday. Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton. Coming up next.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
For 25 minutes.
Actually, no. It's more like 11 minutes, and you guys are still stealing my time.
And the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp right after that. We got to go. Casey's going to talk next on ESPN 690.
Yeah. Let's do it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Duval!
Have a good night, everybody.
Alice Cooper, Too Close for Comfort. No more. October 4th, St. Augustine Amphitheater. Alice Cooper, live. On sale now at Ticketmaster.com.
As the seasons change, one thing remains the same. Jacksonville and all of Northeast Florida are fueled by Celsius Essential Energy Drinks. If you spot ESPN 690 anywhere in the community, come hang with us and grab an ice-cold Celsius.
Come on, admit it. You know you want a new Toyota, and of all the Labor Day sales out there, nobody does it better than Jacksonville's own Arlington Toyota. Arlington Toyota has over 400 new Toyotas available. Camrys, Corollas, Highlanders, Tundras, Tacomas. This Labor Day weekend, they're all at Arlington, and you should be too. And at Arlington Toyota, your new Toyota purchase comes with Arlington's lifetime warranty, unlimited time, and miles. Arlington is open all day Labor Day. Shop in person and online at arlingtontoyota.com. AmcoWater.com.
Discover how good your water can be with the new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's Twin Tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available. We have one in our home. We absolutely love it, have had it for over 5 years. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. Right now, you can save up to $1,000 on a Connecticut K5 drinking water system when you purchase a Connecticut Premier softener. If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and provide solutions that are right for you and your family. Imagine having clean, clear, purified water at your home. No more plastic bottles, no more waste, just great tasting, purified water that you can trust. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com, 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer, Florida license number CFC 1428211.
What defines a hero? Dedication, loyalty, courage. Every day at AMCO, we serve heroes. For over 60 years, we've repaired and maintained the most critical public service vehicles, from complex transmissions to simple brake jobs with flexible financing and the extra safety precautions we need. The heroes we serve don't all wear uniforms. They're people like you. At AMCO, we're proud to serve all of you. AA MCO.
Money tight? We can finance almost anybody. Find the AMCO transmissions nearest you at amcojacksonville.com.
Hey, One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union, is slashing car loan rates to as low as 3.99% for up to 60 months, but for 4 days only, September 6th through the 9th. That's it. That's the deal. One-to-One Financial, new or used vehicles. Interest rates as low as 3.99 for up to 60 months. And you have 30 days to find the perfect ride for real. Only at One-to-One Financial, September 6th through the 9th. Apply online at 121fcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
What's up? It's Kasey. Check out the podcast Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690, wherever you get your podcast.
This is Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. New development on Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce, who hyperextended his knee today at practice. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports team believes his ACL is intact. There is inflammation in the knee. They'll test it tomorrow to determine his availability for Thursday's season opener. Duke and Colorado following huge upset wins in Week 1 into the AP Top 25 college football poll, 21 and 22 respectively. Florida State climbed up to number 4. And that may actually be a little low for the Seminoles, according to ESPN college football analyst Greg McElroy.
Tell me a team that looked better in Week 1 than Florida State. I would have a very, very difficult time not having Florida State at number 1. That's no disrespect to Georgia. I just looked at Georgia, and I don't think they were as dominant against lower-level competition than Florida State was in the second half, in particular, against high-level competition.
Novak Djokovic beat Taylor Fritz. Men's quarterfinals U.S. Open reached his record 47th Grand Slam semifinal. Coco Gauff defeated Yelena Ostapenko and reached the women's semifinal.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com.
NFL opening night is coming, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is hooking new customers up with a can't-miss offer. Place your first $5 NFL bet and score $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, all customers can take advantage of 2 new offers every single game day this September. New customers, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code OUTCOME to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. That's code OUTCOME, only on DraftKings Sportsbook. Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. See dkng.co/football for eligibility terms and responsible gaming resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply.
Broadcasting live from the Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
We're here. Don't worry. Everything is okay for the next 12 minutes.
That's what Billy Napier said 2 years ago. Don't worry. Everything's okay. And Kasey is a Florida Gator fan, so I don't know if I can trust your words on that one.
We're not talking about them bums today. Today is not the day for those bums. We actually have good things to talk about. Overtime with Kurtz and Middleton. Legit, though, we've got 11 minutes, so we might as well start talking about it. Brian Middleton, Kasey Kurtz, Jumbo Shrimp Baseball. They are in Norfolk. I believe. I know they're in Norfolk. I believe. Don't quote me unless it's true. That's the best way to, say that. It will be Jackson Holliday's first AAA game. I believe the 19-year-old number one prospect, son of Matt Holliday, who started this season in Single A, Low A, is now in AAA for the Norfolk Tides. Whether the debut will be tonight or later this week.
Oh, that's for the Norfolk Tides. Never mind. I gave it the dinger, and I thought. Anyway, please continue.
All right.
I thought we were backing up the shrimp. Here you go with a whole, report on the enemy.
Yeah, sort of.
Like you're a scout, man. I mean, that's your thing. Go ahead, man. Anyway, what's Jackson Ellison? What'd you call him? What NBA 2K makeup player name was that again?
Jackson Holliday.
That's a great name, by the way.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
I hope he's good. Sounds like he's good.
He's actually great.
Yeah.
As it turns out.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's coming up in just a little bit. Where should we start, Brian? Should we start with the Florida State Seminoles?
Hey, let's do it. Since we're the station.
The official station. You can hear the game. You can hear the game this weekend coming up Saturday night as they will take on somebody who is clearly inferior because the LSU Tigers were inferior to the Florida State Seminoles. Holy cow, what a showing. Talked about them all offseason. They got national love. Are they back was the question. They're back. And better than ever. They made them boys quit in the second half. LSU quit. On the field. You watched it. Maybe you listened to it right here. If you heard it, if you saw it, you saw LSU quit in the first game of the season. And Mike Norvell said, we are not letting up. We're going to keep throwing. Johnny Wilson's open. Yeah, we're going to throw it to him. Keon Coleman, how many touchdowns? Not enough. Give him another one. Jaheim Bell. Brian Middleton's like, damn, why'd you leave South Carolina? Oh, he's scoring touchdowns for the Florida State Seminoles.
Hey, man, if the NIL right, Kasey, I will say this. I think they might just have Brian Kelly's number too. Just FSU in general.
Yeah.
Over the past handful of years.
I got into an argument with Brent earlier saying that Brian Kelly's overrated, and I believe that to be true.
Well.
Nah, I saw all I needed to see.
If
Week one, they quit on him.
Well, where do you have him at? In a tier of coaches, you got Saban, Kirby Smart, like top tier, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know. There may be 4 or 5 guys. I can't think of them off the top of my head right now. Maybe
No. I would say Kirby and Saban are alone.
Okay.
Then I would say your next tier is like
Lincoln Riley's or
Lincoln. I would say Harbaugh, Lincoln Riley.
Is Dabo? They got a bit of
we'll get there.
A down point.
I've always been down
But
on
Dabo's
Dabo.
been okay. Yeah, that's true.
I can't even put Ryan Day there. I mean, Mac Brown's actually in that conversation who doesn't get enough love.
Whoa, Ryan Day is like, hold on now. Okay?
I'm out on Ryan Day.
Why? Because they never break through under him? They never break through under him?
I'm out on Ohio State as a whole.
Okay.
I wonder the same thing about Ryan Day that I'm now wondering about Dabo Swinney. If you don't have an elite quarterback, can you do anything? Dabo with Deshaun, great. Dabo with Trevor, great. Dabo with Kelly Bryant, Dabo with DJ Uyunglele, who just dropped 50 in his first game at Oregon State, not good. So that's my question. Ryan Day, what you doing without Justin Fields? What you doing without CJ Stroud? We'll see. Now, a lot more evidence needs to be shown from Ryan Day. It's only one game. But I'm kind of out. So to answer your question, I'm putting Brian Kelly down there in like a 4th tier.
Okay.
But it feels like everyone tries to push him up.
It does, and I think part of that is the Notre Dame run, even though
the run of what?
Well, hold on now. Like when you go to Notre Dame, you get a certain status, and if you have some semblance, of success there, maybe not the ultimate success.
Same argument.
It's going to
person.
For what?
Same argument, different person. This is what Brent was saying earlier. But please continue.
Oh, different person is me. Yes. I got you. Okay, because I was like, well, who are you talking about?
No, you.
So I like Kasey. That's a deal. Notre Dame. That's why they continue to be an independent. That's why, because they are Notre Dame.
And I get that.
You feel what I'm saying? So when you go there and have success above and beyond the academic requirements that still are higher than 99% of the schools that we got tier 1 coaches and tier 1 players and great NFL players going to, like that's a feat that you're going to get complimented about. That's just the deal with college football. And I don't know if that changes over the next, 50 years. They have a lore about it. You're the Notre Dame coach. You can get 10 wins. You can get to a championship game. You can get to the playoffs. Yeah, man. I think that's why. But I agree with you. I wouldn't dare push him up to, the top tier. Like you said, there's only a handful of guys there. That second tier, I can't see it either. But if he does something with LSU the rest of this year, the chat is going to start back up again.
And that's fine. He's overrated.
Okay.
Listen, that's how I see it. You may not see it that way, but the point of the story is LSU quit on their head coach in the first game of the season. As Florida State was just going up and down the field with no problem, no issues. That was dominating what they did.
Who was the big winner overall
of
this past weekend or Thursday?
Florida State. They played real competition, or so we thought. They played real competition. I'll leave it at that. They saw that the players that they invested in the transfer portal in were absolutely the right decision. They saw that was their toughest game on the schedule, in my opinion. I don't think Clemson is anything. The Florida Gators are clearly not anything. They do not play North Carolina. Duke will be interesting. I'm in on Duke. I think they're big winners, but not the biggest. Florida State handily dominated their toughest game of the regular season in week 1. Now, granted, that means they got 11 more weeks to play themselves out of it, if you will. But I think they have to be the big winners because nobody else, sure, Georgia dominated, but we all knew that was going to happen. Alabama, sure. Michigan, sure. Florida State's the big winner. Duke is second, though, without a doubt.
Now, I will say that the biggest winner, in my opinion, Florida State is like a 1B. It will be the 2024-25 Colorado team because of the level of recruiting that's about to happen, even if they still only win 5 or 6 games after coming out here and beating TCU. And I know it's not the same TCU that got routed from UGA, but
21-point underdogs, by the way.
The recruiting has already happened. It didn't stop. But the team Colorado's going to field over the next 2 seasons, if they can just continue to put together a decent enough season and have guys like Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders show out the way that they did, and some of the other guys, too, that might be lesser well-known. And then also, Kasey, the other big winner is the 2027 team. I know I'm going into the future, or 28 team, probably 2027 team that picks up Deion Sanders because of the snowball that he's starting up there in Colorado, because it's going to happen. I don't think he's going to the NFL, but I think those are the winners with a little bit of foresight.
I already know what school it's going to be.
Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Let's get it on wax.
You ready for this?
Hold on. No, I'm not ready for this. Hold on. Here we go.
So Deion Sanders, 21-point dogs. They win the football game outright. Thank you, Deion. I took the points. It was awesome. Travis Hunter, by the way, is holy cow special. But we've heard there's been some beef between Deion Sanders and Florida State. Took a lot of the coaches, took a lot of the players. Oh, that's where I'm going. It's a mess in Gainesville. Oh, yeah. Give it 2 solid years. He's here this year in Colorado. Next year, Travis Hunter goes to the league. Billy Napier gets blown out halfway through next year. They have an interim coach.
Hey, man.
And Deion makes his appearance in the SEC with the Florida Gators.
Normally, I think that you a goofball with some of your takes, man. I like some of them. I love a few of them. But this one right here, Kasey, holy smokes. You got it all. You got the plot. You got the reasoning.
Makes
you got
sense.
the seasoning. Holy smokes, Kasey.
It makes
Kurtz.
sense.
That's a good one. We're pulling this. If you don't pull it, I'm going to pull it and post it. You got to make sure that people know they heard it here first.
2025.
That was good, Kasey.
Head coach of the Florida Gators, Deion Sanders.
Holy smokes.
Travis Hunter, holy cow, man. I don't know if he can play all season, both sides of the ball, every play, but holy cow. They couldn't cover him. Nobody could get open on him. Special. Extremely special.
I saw somebody say, imagine what his contract would be being a wide receiver one in a DB one. I mean, I know that. Crazy. I don't think that can happen. I doubt that would happen at the NFL league. The wear and tear on that would just be, but man, you're right. He was everywhere. He was everywhere.
It's unbelievable.
Talking about, I'm not really that tired. I'm ready to go out and play some more. Like, nah, dog, we got 10 more games at least.
Man, sit down.
Somewhere and drink some Gatorade.
One time. We're out of time already. We had so much more to talk
good
about. I want to talk about Duke. We're going to slowly piece together this show this week. We only have one full show. We're going to piece it together slowly this week. And somehow, some way, we will talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are officially in game week. Did you hear? The NFL season starts on Thursday, which, by the way, is the only day of the full show. So we will talk about Duke, the downfall of Clemson. We got to talk about North Carolina, South Carolina. We'll
Shout out
probably
to Trevor Jr.,
tomorrow.
a.k.a. Drake May.
But
shout
for now,
out to him.
Jumbo Shrimp Baseball is up next. That was the 15-minute lightning edition. For Brian Middleton, I'm Kasey Kurtz. Have a great night, everybody.
ESPN 690 wants to pay your bills. We'll have 5 chances every weekday to win $1,000. All you have to do is enter the correct keyword at ESPN.